Joseph Catholic School football is on the air, live on Bruins streaming television and Bruins Sports Radio. I'm John Baladi, and I'm joined tonight in the broadcast booth by Jack Clements, and we are here to bring you all of the actions from tonight's Varsity Football Week 3 game between the St. Joe Bruins and the Richland Rangers. Bruins streaming television and Bruins Sports Radio are part of the Bruin Broadcasting Network, a production of the award-winning St. Joseph Catholic School journalism program. You can watch our live streaming webcast at the Bruin News Now channel on YouTube. You can also hear our live radio broadcast exclusively on WJXC LP Jackson, Mississippi Catholic Radio, 107.9 FM. Tonight's live webcast and broadcast is underwritten by Brown Bottling Group, St. Dominic's, C-Spire, M7 Coffee House, Waffle House, Mid-South Elevator, the St. Joe Booster Club, Bobby Moore Head Attorney, Zach Jordan State Farm, Mississippi Race Timing, Cannon Motors, Charlotte Smith Real Estate, Mosquito Joe, Farrell Scruggs Foundation, Paramount Construction Club, Live Oak Golf Club, MCH Transportation, Bell Brothers Inc., Air Conditioning, Appliance, and Heating Specialists, and John Dorsa State Farm. So tonight, the Bruins are playing the Richland Rangers, and the Bruins are coming off of an 18-14 loss against the Natchez Cathedral Green Wave, in which the Bruins showed themselves a talented group, but few questionable calls and undisciplined plays led to their downfall. Richland, on the other hand, is coming off a win against a 16-man team from New Orleans, the New Orleans Homeschool Saints. They won 42-14, but many players still believe we should be the favorites. With a pro-style offense with a heavy run game, Richland should be an interesting matchup. In the Jamboree last year, against Richland, the Bruins scored on the first play of the game, but couldn't come up with a win. They are hoping to change that for tonight. So, Jack, what do you think the key plays are to this game?
Yeah, the key plays tonight are just going to be the clean plays, John. Just keeping it clean, avoiding the penalties, which have hurt us in our past two games. And I know that that's been worked on at practice, and I know the coaches have preached on that. So, if we play a clean game, if we execute well, and if we execute sharply, John, I see the Bruins being the favorite.
I agree. I think that, honestly, we are going to be – I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. I was talking to Coach Howell before the game, and I watched a lot of film on them, but I only watched – okay, so apparently we had the film from the game they played against St. Andrews and the game they played against the New Orleans Homeschool Saints, and I did not know that, but I only watched the game that they had against the New Orleans Homeschool Saints, and from what I saw, they did not look very impressive. They looked good, and their run game was good, but ultimately, I don't think it's. I don't want to say they're bad, but they were nothing that we couldn't handle, is what I'd say. And I definitely think that will be good. The offensive and defensive line matchups that I saw were very interesting. Wyatt Davis's matchup is going to be one that he should definitely win. So stuff like that. They have a small defensive line. So if our offensive line can have an easy time with them, open up the run lanes, and have a clean game, then we will be fine. As we mentioned last week, we were going to look into the film and see what the deal was with the calls, if they were actually on us or if the referees were just incorrect. Okay, so we had a touchdown to Andrew Stanley that was called back. The call given was holding, but the actual call was ineligible receiver downfield, that being Jaden Coleman, so it should have been brought back. So there were a couple questionable calls, but at the same time, it was nothing bad. Jack, you mentioned discipline play. What else do you think is going to be a big deal in this game?
I think that just committing to the play. I noticed this a couple last time. We had a player, especially on that triple option, coming across for the handoff, and they wouldn't fully commit to taking the ball. And then I think our passing game just needs to show a little bit of improvement from last week. It was pretty strong, but in order to play teams with a pass coverage defense, it's going to need to be a little bit stronger.
Indeed. And Brock Morris, our quarterback, mentioned he just needed a tad extra time, and he'd be perfectly fine in this game. This team, he talked to me about their coverages. I said that they seemed to run a lot of cover 2, to which he said that they run a lot of cover 2, cover 3. They even ran some cover 4 in there, which is cover 2 is 2 deep safeties, 3 is 3, 4 is 4, and all that. So we're going to have to watch out for that, because if they run a cover 2 or a cover 2, then we can hit them deep as long as we have 3 deep receivers. But if they're running 3 or 4, then intermediate passes in the middle are going to be the way to go. On defense now, they do run the ball a lot. Jack, we've seen a lot of running teams so far. How do you think the 6'2", 260-pound running back from St. Stanislaus and the 6'2", 230-pound running back from Natchez Cathedral is going to help us in this game?
John, I really think that they came as a wake-up call, especially down on the coast at Bay St. Louis against St. Stanislaus. It was really a wake-up call for us. I don't think that we were expecting to have to stop a freight train, but we've had to do it twice so far. And at this point, I mean, we had some good stops against the running back from Natchez Cathedral, and I mean, I've seen a lot of big boys warming up down there on the Richland side, but the ones that were touching the ball didn't seem to be nearly as big as the guy from Stanislaus or the guy from Cathedral, so I don't think we should have a problem with that.
The biggest thing with with Richland is obviously they're a 72-man roster. So we have, I believe, about a 40-man roster, or just about, in between 35 and 40, I'm pretty sure. So the numbers game is going to be interesting because we oftentimes, I was talking to Wyatt Davis about this. He was like, I mentioned all the people who played wide receiver last week, and somebody goes, well, how many people have played wide receiver? And Wyatt goes, all of our players play skill positions, essentially, in terms of skill positions, meaning offensive players that do not play linemen, the O-line. So that could be interesting, especially with the offensive line. I think we'll be fine because we have that versatility with the people who won't be cramping up and won't be tired, and we can move them around. It's just going to come down to, can we outlast them?
That's right. While the numbers aren't as big, we do have a lot of versatility, so we can put people in different positions, which I think is very beneficial.
Indeed, I believe it is as well. So it is about 6:36 now. We are about 24 minutes from kickoff here. I'm going to read off what the weather is currently. So the field is dry. The sun is going down. Sunset will be 7:17 p.m. So just about over halfway into the first quarter, if I were to guess. At kickoff, it'll be 89 degrees. I'm not sure on the humidity, but I'm not sure that'll matter all too much. So
it's just going to be hot either way you look at it, John.
Indeed. We got that fan going in here. So, Jack, we're talking about the heat. We're talking about versatility as well as the size of roster when it comes to fresh players that are going to be coming in. What do you think is going to be the biggest effect of if the Bruins can keep from cramping, unlike last week? We had a lot of cramps last week. If we can keep from doing that, what do you think the biggest effect is going to be?
John, if we can keep from cramping, we had some of our big linemen cramp up last week, as well as skill positions. If we can prevent that, we can drink tons of pickle juice and a couple mustard packets and stay loose. I think that's going to be good because our starters play the whole game, and when one of them cramps up, we're almost in a bind. So if we can just keep all of our guys in and keep them healthy, then I think that we've already got an edge right there.
Indeed, we had a couple cramps in there. Also, I'd like to point out Brock Morris coming back from an injury. Last week was labeled out for the game after he got an injury to his left leg, I believe his left calf. He's back tonight and will be starting. But while we're on that subject, his backup Keegan Helms, when he was in, cramped up. And then at quarterback went Andrew Sanley, which meant at wide receiver we had to switch up a couple things. William Turner went in wide receiver. He is now, from what I've heard, starting at nose guard tonight. Jack, what do you think that tells you about the coach's game plan for tonight?
I think he wants to keep his his starting original receiver core in play. William Turner is a good receiver, but I think Coach, they've practiced with that starting guys and they want to keep it that way. I'm sure he's just trying to keep it just like practice because you run something so many times with a certain group of people in there, you just get used to it, and if you're used to it, you're going to be able to execute it more precisely, and it's just going to come off better.
I agree. I also, to me, when I heard that, I was like, okay, this is awesome because the center for Richland, I didn't get a lot of film on him. He looked pretty good. So maybe putting William on the nose guard spot, maybe that would get him a bit of a quicker guy who plays wide receiver also, but he's a dense man. Like he can.
That's for sure. He can hold his own.
He can hold his own.
He plays lineman, I mean, he plays wide receiver as well, but he is tough as nails, and it definitely earned a spot on that line.
And I believe that putting him there might give us an edge in terms of if you have a quick nose guard. One of my dad's favorite stories to tell me back from when he was in high school was they had a game. I mentioned this last week. They had a game where the opposing team had a silent count. So the quarterback would get under center and he'd flare his hands, and that's how he would get the snap. Well, my dad was short enough to where he could see that. So every play when he flared his hands, he would go. And every play was in the backfield. So because of that, that makes me believe that William might be quick enough to have a similar effect to where he can be that fast off as soon as the ball is snapped to go, be in the backfield, and maybe cause some problems for that offense.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. You know, so as soon as we get someone back there, the sooner we can start causing problems for their offense. And, I mean, he may have put him there because William is a quick guy, and he's not the biggest lineman, so he can maneuver a little more quickly.
Indeed, as well as our defense being a 3-4 defense is very much a reactionary type defense in terms of they get the ball, we just see where they're going, and we get there as fast as we can. If he can get in the backfield, they run the ball a lot. If he could slow up their running back a little bit, our linebackers will have time to know where the ball is going and can get him down quicker. As well as I didn't see their quarterback get pressured almost at all last week when they played the New Orleans Homeschool Saints. So I would love to see him get a little bit of pressure on him just to see how it affects him. Many quarterbacks in high school getting very much put off their game when they have pressure in their face. And I did not see any of that last week. So maybe he won't know what to do, and we can get a couple of sacks or just bad throws, maybe some turnovers because of that. That would be very, very nice. Now, I believe they're about to do the national anthem and a prayer here in just a bit. It is 6:41, 19 minutes till kickoff at 7 o'clock here. Looking forward to this game. So Richland, I believe, is 3A?
I think so. I'm not real sure. They're either 3 or 4. They're not 2.
So they're 3 or 4A. I'm also pretty sure that they're an MHSAA team. I could have been wrong on both of those statements. But last week I was told that Natchez Cathedral was MAIS, so I would like to correct that. But no. So also last week we talked about the play clock. I believe they have that fixed for tonight. So running play clock at 40 seconds. The new rule states at the end of every single play, a 40-second play clock will begin, excluding kickoffs, of course. But hopefully getting the game to go a little bit faster. As well as they lined up the goalposts.
And they also repainted them, which was something that we made some comments on, before the season started. It's like, man, both of our goalposts are just a tad crooked westward, and they need a little paint. But they've got it all done up nice, and the new field art, the logo in the center, we've changed it to the SJ with the 150 years on top, and I think it looks great.
I agree. I think it looks excellent. We also have the new I don't know how to say. I don't know if it's banner or like what it is, but it's basically a cover on the fence. The fence cover. It is on the away stands at the bottom and on the home stands at the bottom. They're trying to get it all the way around the stadium from what I've heard, but definitely new and exciting things going on here as the managerial staff of the Bruin football team as well as the athletic trainers are going to come out now. They will be helping us out on the sidelines tonight in case of any injuries. Hopefully, if there are any, they are just cramps, and we can get those fixed real quickly. Which, by the way, I've heard the remedy for cramps is pickle juice and Gatorade. They mix them together and they go with it. So
that sounds absolutely disgusting, but next time I get a cramp, I may have to try it.
It sounds like one of those things that's almost like, it sounds bad, but at the same time, it might work. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I feel like it might kind of go down like drinking orange Gatorade and eating dill pickle sunflower seeds. It leaves a real bad aftertaste, but it's not terrible.
I'm surprised you remember that fact, Jack. But no, getting ready here. 15 minutes till kickoff now. As we can talk about the new coaches as well, since we haven't really talked about them this year. We have a new defensive coach, Coach Moore. He is He brought in the new system, the 3-4 system, which I believe has worked out pretty well so far. We're still getting used to it, and I believe this game is going to be the final game of where we really come to see how the Bruins can do this year. We did all right in week 1. We did better in week 2. I think we'll do very well this week going into next week, which is the big game against St. Andrews.
That's right. That's going to be the big game. That's going to be a really packed game as well. And I think you're right. I do think it just took a little bit of time to get used to it. And, you can look at it as us being a game behind since we did not play a Jamboree this year. We didn't get to see how our new systems will work live before we were just thrown into the ring. So, but, I do think that everything's going to run smoothly and the kinks are going to be worked out this game.
Thrown into the rain. I like that. But, yeah, I agree. St. Andrews also, I'd like to mention, I didn't think about this just now. This might be genius scheduling from I don't know if it was the coaches, whoever scheduled this, because think about it. We play St. Stanislaus, who has about a 50-man roster. We have about in between 35 and 40. Then we play Natchez Cathedral, who has, I believe, a 50-man roster again. So we are forced to play a lot of downs, and we're really the team that doesn't have a lot of energy compared to the other. And now we play the Richland Rangers, who have about 72 men on their roster. So they're going to have a lot of fresh legs, a lot of fresh faces ready to go. Then we play St. Andrews. St. Andrews has 20 players on their team. So we will actually have the advantage in that game when it comes to people who are
just numbers-wise.
Numbers-wise, indeed. We'll be able to send in those fresh legs when we need them. And that's something that Coach Bond really does well. He's able to send in the sophomores, and he's confident in them, and he will put the ball in their hands when needed. Think about it. Christopher Watson, although it was called back, had that big touchdown catch in week 1 that was unreal. You don't see that in a normal sophomore, but he did it. And stuff like that is really what I think Coach Bond brings to the table this year as well as last year. I'm really excited to see more of that.
I agree with you, John, and that's one thing. Our group of younger guys, the sophomores and the freshmen, they're actually really good. They show up and they show out. They've been working hard, just as hard, if not harder, at practice to earn their spot, just earn the respect of the older guys, and it's paying off. And we've got Brandon Taylor in there, Chris Watson, all of them, and they're doing excellent. And so that's one thing that I think Coach Bond really stresses is he needs everyone on the team to be at the same caliber or at least close to it so he can sub out when he has to.
Indeed. Also, one of the biggest ones I'd like to mention, Matthew Blackwood, we don't talk about him very much, started last year on the offensive line as a freshman, which any level, any classification of football, that is crazy to think about. You're a freshman, so you're smaller than most people already. You're just smaller than most of the people you'll be going up against. And yet somehow he held his own and did a very good job on the offensive line. I don't know how he did it, but he managed to do it. He's even better this year.
It's the level of commitment that Coach Bond requires and instills. I really feel like all the players have bought into his program. They've bought into his coaching philosophy, and it is working out great for him.
Indeed it is, and also he really is open to talking to his players. Joe Pearson and Wyatt Davis last week mentioned to Coach Wilson, who he also is a new coach. He's a new offensive line coach. In our AP Government class, they usually talk a little bit of football in there, but Joe Pearson walked up to the board and was like, all right, so they have he was talking about Natchez Cathedral. He said they have the two deep two wide defensive ends, which means that they will be able to run sweeps and stuff like that very well, depending on how we move the offensive line. So that actually we ran a couple of those and they worked out really well. So Coach Bond was actually open to hear that stuff from his players and know what their thoughts on film and on their schedules were. Excuse me one moment. Something seems to have. Anyways, their thoughts on what the opposing team was running and how they could defend or attack that, and stuff like that has really made his players have confidence in him as a coach and given him more confidence in his players, as well as knowing his players better and being able to maybe know what they want to run before they say that they want to run that.
Yeah, I agree 100% right there. It is Coach Bond is the one who he's the coach, of course, but he's not on the field. The players are. So I think that, any coach definitely needs to at least hear out their players' input and just value what they're saying since they are the ones playing the game.
Indeed, that's one of the big things on the soccer team that we always do is we'll always see something. We'll be coaching each other during the game, telling each other to look out for things because we may see something that the others don't. And I mean, we say it all the time up here. We are at a different angle than the football players are and that the referees are. So if we critique a referee's decision, we may not see exactly what they see, and therefore it may be the right call, but we think it's the wrong one. It really just depends. And the willingness that Coach Bond has to listen to his players and implement what they want to be implemented is a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is. It's a huge deal. I mean, like I said, the players. I mean, obviously they're the ones playing the game, so they're gonna know, what's going on the field and how the other team is playing, like on a line of scrimmage level. So, their input is definitely something that needs to be considered.
Indeed, it is. As well as something that I saw last year, he actually brought in some 8th graders for the later games of the season, which I wonder if he's going to this year. One of the main 8th graders that I've been hearing some talk about is Emil Picarella. He is apparently a very, very well looked at quarterback who we might bring in since I don't believe we have a junior, sophomore, or freshman backup. We have 3 quarterbacks, all of which are seniors, that being Brock Morris, Keegan Helms, and Andrew Sandley in that order on the depth chart. So to bring him in, he might be a freshman starter next year. That's I'm excited. I'm excited to hear about how he does.
And John, it would not surprise me one bit. My younger brothers played on football teams with him all the way through since I think 2nd grade, and just I know that's really young. At elementary level doesn't really matter, but just seeing his talent and his work ethic. And now, on the junior high football team, he's probably the best quarterback that he's compared to all the quarterbacks their team's going to face. He's probably the best. I mean, he is an excellent athlete, extremely athletic, all-around good football player. He actually joined us in the broadcast booth last year just for a little bit because he is just – I mean, he's such a good player, and he's also, very knowledgeable about the game. Very well-rounded player.
He seems to be very much, and if he were to get some playing time this year, I would love to see that. Coach Bond always willing to do the interesting things. Last year, I remember Tyler Brown getting in and playing some fullback, which is always fun to see. Tyler Brown now up at ULL, coming off of a loss against Mississippi State. And they will be I don't know who they play this week, but looking forward to hearing more from him this season. 8 minutes to kickoff now. They're about to do the prayer and national anthem, to which we will unfortunately still have to talk through those, but we will get kickoff to you very soon. Still have not done the coin toss or anything like that, but looking forward to it. Looking forward to this game. I don't think we've ever played Richland before. I forgot to mention that.
I can't recall a time that we have. Definitely not since I've been doing the broadcast. We've not played Richland. So, it's going to be a good matchup. I'm looking forward to it. I love playing new teams. We had never played St. Stanislaus before, and that was it was a loss, but it was a good game. We learned a lot. You learn a lot from new opponents.
Indeed, you do. And we've played them in a jamboree, but in a full-fledged game, not sure we ever have. To which this is a historic moment that we can say, I guess. And in moments like these, it's always fun to be the first one to publicly call a game or something, or do anything like that. Like, for example, after next week, I will have 4 broadcasts of St. Andrews games under my belt, which is really wild to think about how you can broadcast stuff like this, and you could document a quote-unquote historic game if we continue this matchup with the Richland Rangers, as our captains are going to come out now ready to do the coin toss. Our captains tonight are Joe Pearson, William Turner, Nicholas Briley, and Reed Fry. We did not mention Nicholas Brearley last week. The story of the week so far has been Nicholas Brearley's huddle. Jack, have you seen his amazing highlights?
I have not, actually. I have not looked. I don't have a huddle account. Tell me about it.
So his highlights, you don't have to have a huddle account to see Nicholas Brearley's highlights. If you want to look it up, just look up Nicholas Brearley huddle, and it is amazing. He kind of made a joke about how he's unfortunately not gotten that much playing time this season. He didn't play very much at St. Richards when he did play football, and then he decided to come out this year and try to play. And so he's joined the team, and his highlights, he has 3 highlights. Two of them are from the St. Stanislaus game, one from last week. One from last week is on a punt where he actually hit a player, and the player got injured. And so he put that as one of his highlights there, and so he circled himself, and then he injured a player. So that was kind of interesting. I mean, I can understand that, but that wasn't too funny. The St. Stanislaus highlights, on the other hand, were very funny. He put one where a play goes on and the play ends, and then he circles himself on the sideline, and then at the end another one is he circles himself on the field, and the quarterback kneels it. So Nicholas Brearley,
I might have to check those out later.
And he has about the 4th most views on his huddle on the team.
I can imagine it.
Nicholas Brearley just being a legend in that way. It's the senior class is really fun to be around it, and stuff like that really just makes you smile, and being able to kind of just laugh at that, and those amazing highlights are great. Now they're about to do the prayer and the national anthem, so I will have to quiet down a little bit. But no, the sun is going down. It still says 7:17, so that'll be about halfway through the first quarter when the sun will be down. Jack, so final thoughts before kickoff. How do you think this game's going to go?
Yeah, John, I expect it to be a hard-fought battle by the Bruins. You know, if we can execute well, play a clean game, just, have guys where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there, I see this game ending with the Bruin victory.
I believe so as well. Bruins so far this season, unfortunately, have not been able to get a victory, but I think that this game is a great opportunity to get the first one. Definitely don't want to go a third of the way through the season without a victory. After this game, we will have 7 more before playoffs. Our last game before playoffs being November 1st. This is the first season in my high school career where we will have a bye week. We actually have a bye week, I believe, after our 7th game of the season. So we'll have a little week of rest. We can hang out, have fun at another high school's football game. And then after that, we can come back and enjoy our last couple of games before playoffs start the next just a few days later. And we would like to also mention that another historic game is coming up. Our next home game is going to be 2 weeks from today. It will be at home against the West. I'm not sure what their mascot is, but it will be against West Lincoln. They will come to the Bruins Den for our homecoming game. So our homecoming game will be September 20th, and the homecoming theme is space, because September 20th was the original date for the quote-unquote Area 51 raid. That was the meme of the summer, I'd like to say. Senior class very much voted on that, just off the joke alone, and it'll be interesting if there actually is a raid. What'll happen on homecoming? If we will, how that'll be. But West Lincoln will come down. We'll look into them. I'm not sure how talented they are. I've heard good things. So
I've heard some good things as well, but I haven't heard anything just outstanding.
Indeed, we have West Lincoln at home, Richland at home, and a few other, and I believe just 2 home games after that. And then the rest of our games are going to be away. We will have some new opponents in the some new away opponents. I believe East Delta is one of the away opponents.
That's correct, yes.
And as well as Velma Jackson. Velma Jackson is going to be a very interesting game.
It sure will. I'm looking forward to that game.
I'm looking forward to it a lot. The former Bruin coach, Bo Bradbury, is one of the coaches and calls plays for the offense at Velma Jackson. So maybe that'll help us because we might know the plays. But we'll just
that is true. I did not know that. I didn't know he went to Velma. I thought that he was at Ridgeland High School.
I'm not sure if he did. He may have gone to Ridgeland, but now he's at Velma Jackson. And I'm excited for that game. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I watched them play. They played against Terry. So only issue with that is, like, I wasn't sure how good either team was. So I wasn't sure if what I was looking at was actually good or if it was just, like, bad, but it looked fine. So we would have
That's right. You can really only tell how good a team is based on the teams they play.
That is very true. So we would just – I'm not sure how they looked, but they looked all right. They definitely looked talented, and it looked like it'd be a fun matchup. Their roster is looking very fun. So they have about 60 players, and I'm excited. That's one of the games that I'm really looking forward to. East Delta as well, because teams in Mississippi. So the way soccer works is the opposite of football, because the North in soccer seems to be the kind of the laughing stock. If you can get to playoffs in the North and you're a good team, you can make it to the North State Championship game. Now in football, it's the other way around almost. It feels like if you're in the North, you're an excellent team. And I'm not sure the reason for that, but East Delta seems to be one of those teams where it's a possibility of they're either great or they could be a good matchup, easy. I don't want to say an easy win, but not an extremely difficult win.
John, I really would like to know where the North and South line is, because for some sports, teams are in North and some are in South. St. Andrews is right down the road, and somehow they go to South State for swim, but then a couple years ago they went to North. So I think that the boundary lines are they kind of fluctuate.
So the way it works, from my understanding, when I talked to Mr. Dave Whistle, who set that up for us, is they need even teams on either side. So what'll happen is they will have some teams be in the North and some in the South. Even if they're in the central area, they'll still switch them up just so they can have that even set.
That makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to just remind you that you're listening to WJXC LP, Jackson, Mississippi Catholic Radio, 107.9 FM.
And we're going to get into this game in just one moment. They're going to the kickoff real quick, getting a number for our PA announcer. And so now we will be kicking the ball away. John Rivnak will put a right boot into it from the 40-yard line to kick this ball away. Bruins are wearing their regular home uniforms with the white pants with the blue and yellow pinstripe on either side, blue jerseys with the white numbers, and their blue helmets with the bear paw with the interlocking SJ. As Rivnak puts a low end-over-end kick through the back of the end zone, and that is where Richland will start at the 20-yard line. So a good kick by Rivnak. Richland coming out. Jack, what do you think Richland is going to try to do on this first drive?
John, I'm not really sure. I haven't watched a whole lot of Richland film. Been very busy with lots of homework this week. Didn't get to do a whole lot of football homework, but from what I've heard, I do think they're primarily a running team. Correct me if I'm wrong.
From what I saw, yes, they seem to be.
So, yeah, I think they're going to try and run some to the outside, and then, after maybe one or two plays like that, try and run it straight up the gut.
They have a short, stocky running back in right now. Number 13 is their quarterback. They're in the I formation. Twins on the far side, one near side. They hand it to number 12 or up the middle. He's going to bounce it outside to the left. He tries to get some yards, and he goes down about 3 yards behind, 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Assuming forward progress is a thing there. Let me get a name on that running back. He will be their feature back of the night. He's actually a taller running back. I was looking at their fullback, but Their running back is number 12, Christian Benson, the senior. He's 6'4", 225 pounds. I don't know what the deal is with these massive running backs that we've been playing, but no complaints as they line up on the far hash now. I formation, Twins on the far side, one near side. Bruins show blitz, and they do. He runs it up the middle. He gets past the blitz into the secondary, the 40, 45, 50. He goes down at the Bruin 48-yard line. A big gain for the Rangers.
John, that's one of those plays. We've got to be able to close up that middle and have people not running up the middle. St. Joe does a great job running plays straight up the middle with running back Joe Pearson, and we definitely have to be able to defend against it as well as we can run it.
And it goes back to what you said in week 1, Jack. The 3-4 defense is going to make big plays, but it will also give up big plays. That was one of the ones that seemed to have given up as the Bruins were showing blitz. They come out, same formation now, hand it off to the right now on a power play. He runs up the middle and gets about 6 yards there. Jaden Coleman on the stop. And plays like that are what Coach Howell warned me against. If you could not tackle them, then it's going to be a rough night.
That's right. Tackling is something that the team has looked pretty good at, I will say. Need a little bit of cleaning up, tuning up here and there. But overall, I think we have a pretty good tackling defense.
I don't think we've had one penalty on a tackle at all this year, like horse collar, face mask. I don't think we've had one yet, not to jinx it, but they come out I formation once again. Twins near side, one far side. They hand it off, fullback dive up the right. And number 32's got the ball. Keegan Helms gets the stop on the right side. Maybe a yard gained on that one. That was number 32 for the Richland Rangers. That is Jalen Williams. He will be their feature fullback tonight. He's 5'10", 200 pounds.
That's a short, stocky guy, but it seems like he can run, and he can run hard. So I do think he's going to be one of the ones that we're definitely going to have to put a stop to.
It's been a long time since I've used that description for somebody. We used to say that about Mason Fridge back my 8th grade year when I would just listen in.
Oh, forget about Mason Fridge. I was in 7th grade then.
Indeed, as they come out Twins far side, one near side. 3rd and 3. Receives the snap. Handoff up the middle. Number 12 gets the first down and falls down. Just trips, it appeared. Something I noticed on that play, Jack, is that the snap came, but no one moved.
I mean, John, maybe they were thinking that it was going to be on 2. I don't know. They might be trying to change up the snap count just a little bit.
Well, Bruin players were freaking out because the snap was done, but nobody moved, so they were maybe thinking, they were just maybe unsure if they could go or not, as that happens all the time in other sports. They're just unsure of that. But if they have slow snaps throughout the night, then we might be able to have a fun time with that. As they fumble the ball, it's picked up by number 19, the tight end, going left side now. He is tackled by Andrew Sandley and a host of Bruins. A great play by the Bruins, capitalizing on a Ranger mistake. That'll bring up 2nd down and 17 for the Rangers.
And, John, that goes back to something we did talk about last week, is that, if we can just capitalize on the other team's mistakes, their loss is our gain.
It very much can be. And on a play like that, they lost 6 yards. They need to get to the 35-yard line. They're at the 25-yard line. They're at the 41. So that is now 2nd and 16. They come out shotgun formation for the first time tonight. Twins either side. Bruins moving around the defensive line. They fake the handoff, throw a slant. It is incomplete. Too far ahead of their receiver, number 3, Markel Newsom, the senior, 6'1", 160 pounds. Shotgun is very much their passing formation. Jack, if you think that they stay predictable in these formations, how do you think the Bruins will be able to affect and change their defense effectively against this offense?
John, I think that predictability kills offenses. So if they stay in the same setup all night, I definitely think the Bruins will be able to see it and adapt to it and just stop it.
Same formation, 3rd and 16. Quarterback drops back. He throws right into the flat. 42 is there. Fumbles the ball and is picked up by the Bruins. Bruin football. Fumble forced there by number 25. That is Caleb Wilson, and picked up by number 40, Joe Pearson, who just fell on it. A good play by the Bruins. They might have been pinned deep in their own territory on a punt there, but because of that fumble, they now get the ball at the 34-yard line as the offense comes out. Brock Morris, that wrapped up left knee there. You might want to watch that throughout the night as we line up pistol formation. Twins on either side. Wilson and Stanley on the near side. Helms and Fry on the far. Morris awaiting the snap. send a man in motion. It is Sandley. They hand off to Joe Pearson up the middle. He will fight his way up for a 4-yard gain up to the 39-yard line.
John, going back to that fumble, there's an excellent play by Caleb Wilson, a name that we have started to say a lot more this season. He has really stepped up his junior year season and made a name for himself on this Bruin football team.
I don't think he was even on the football team last year, so to say he stepped up is big time. That's a big-time fumble, a forced fumble there. They come out, same formation. They send Helms in motion to the left side this time. They hand it off to Joe Pearson up the middle again, who gets no gain. 2nd down and 6. Now 3rd down and 6, excuse me.
I think that handoff was a good execution there. There's just nowhere to go. I mean, Joe Pearson is one of the guys that you give him the ball and he can usually get somewhere, but there's just nowhere to run.
As Keegan Helms was there, that was a triple option run on that one. We send Kevin May, our 3rd down back, as I've kind of seen him so far this season. Shotgun formation, twins either side. Pearson is off the field. Brock fakes the handoff, throws a screen to Sandley on the left side, who fights up for a 1st down and more, up to about the 47-yard line. They'll mark him at the 48. He's out of bounds. The clock will stop. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play. Bruins are tied with the Richland Rangers 0-0.
Andrew Sandley had a position change. Last year he was one of the backup quarterbacks, and he's come out as receiver this year, and he is doing excellent at that position.
Very versatile player, and he's very talented where he can go. Rangers show blitz. We throw a screen to Helms this time, who gets hit in the backfield, has nowhere to go, and will be taken down for his 2nd and 16 now. Unfortunate play there. Maybe a questionable play call, but I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to assume the best, as Sandley did get a 1st down. Helms is a little bit quicker. Maybe getting the ball out to him would work out better, as we line up on the far hash now. Pistol formation, trips far side. Wilson is the lone receiver near side. Morris is awaiting the snap. Rangers show blitz. They send Sandley in motion. It's a triple option. Play is whistled dead. That'll be a false start on the Bruins, I believe. Just unfortunate there with the... Jack, you mentioned disciplined play. How do you think a false start this early could affect the rest of the game for the Bruins?
John, I don't think it is, that terrible as long as there's just one of them. We cannot fall into the habit. We had several penalties back-to-back last game, and they hurt us. They cost you yards, and you aren't ever getting those yards back. You gotta work for them. So, I mean, if we can just try and keep a very low penalty game, it's going to be very beneficial in the long run.
Shotgun formation, trips near side now. Morris looking to throw, has no protection. He pitches it out to Kevin May, who tries to do something with it. Up to the 45-yard line, an 8-yard gain. Actually, no, a 10-yard gain. Back to the original 1st down marker at the 48-yard line, maybe a yard behind. They'll mark him at the 47, or the 46.5-yard line. Referee timeout now, as they will go to either sideline. So 3rd down, 11 coming up. A good play by Morris, who just unfortunately did not have that much protection on that play, and had to run around and just found his check down. And Kevin May, who I'm not even sure he was set to run a route that play. I think he was just blocking.
I don't think he was, but that was just great adaptability by the quarterback, being able to see that guy out there and immediately flick it out there.
And yeah, I mean, plays like that, Kevin May is really good at improvising with the ball in his hands, and he showed it there. Just kind of, you could tell he wasn't expecting it, but as soon as he got it, he just was like, I've got to accept what's happened now, and I got to hope for the best. So he made the best out of a bad situation.
He ran for almost 10 yards, so he definitely hoped for the best.
And now the Rangers come out, 2 deep safeties. They'll have 2 corners in the game, 4, I believe, down linemen, with 2 middle linebackers in the game. Shotgun formation, trips far side, 1 near side. Morris receives the snap, drops back to pass. He's looking right. He throws right up to Keegan Helms, who is open, and unfortunately is just overthrown. Keegan was at about the 20-yard line. Ball was thrown to about the 16-yard line. Just unfortunate, as the Bruins will send John Rivnak in to punt this ball away.
Yeah, just unfortunate play right there. If that ball had been online, that would have been an amazing play, but there's a whole lot left in the first quarter, so I do expect the Bruins to make several big plays.
as Rivnak might be looking to pin them somewhat deep in their own territory here. He'll be punting from about the 35, a low snap. Puts a right boot into the ball. It's a high, wobbly kick. It'll bounce at about the 20 and take a Ranger bounce before getting downed at the 23-yard line. A good punt by Rivnak.
Yeah, Rivnak is coming out. This is his first year kicking for the St. Joe Bruins, and he has just really showed himself. He's a soccer player, and he kicks field goals, kickoffs, and punts the ball.
And now, as we mentioned earlier, William Turner playing nose guard. He will come into the game along with Joe Pearson, who I believe is the leader of this Bruin defense. Will come out now. 5 defensive backs already in the game. That being Caleb Wilson, Antonio Handy, Kevin May, Reed Fry, and Brandon Taylor, with Andrew Sandley, I believe, actually working as a slot corner. They line up shotgun formation. They send a man in motion. Bruins show blitz. They fumble again. The quarterback picks it up. He's running to the right. He's got nowhere to go, trying to break a tackle, and the Bruins will bring him down at the line of scrimmage. So an unfortunate play for the Bruins as they couldn't get a loss of yards, but they did get the waste of a down still in there, as that's the second fumble by Richland tonight.
That is, and capitalize on their mistakes. If they keep doing that, eventually the Bruins are going to pick it up and take it to the house.
And something that I've noticed so far tonight, and I didn't think about when I was watching film, but the New Orleans Homeschool Saints did not bring that many blitz packages, and the Bruins have only showed that tonight. Joe Pearson and Clifton Goodlow have been playing very close to the line. They come out same formation, twins on the far side. Oh, that's going to be a unfortunate encroachment on the Bruins. So Bruins, as I was talking, I actually get more time to talk about this real quick. So they're bringing Joe Pearson, Caleb Wilson very close to the line, and at the same time they're moving their defensive line around in different ways. Coach Moore, very good at, from what I've seen, defensive line and blitz packages have been excellent so far this season. So with stuff like that, William Turner moving very quickly, trying to get those linemen a little flustered.
Oh, yes, that was a very synchronized move.
As they do it again here, shotgun formation, twins on far side, one near side. Antonio Handy, the blitzer on the back side. The quarterback runs left, nowhere to go with the ball, so he is running out of bounds now at the 35-yard line. Gets a first down for the Rangers.
And we had Bruins in the backfield. Just Richland had very good blocking on that play.
They did. Antonio Handy was the free blitzer from the backside. They had a passing play. Coverage was good. There was nowhere to go, and time was running out for that quarterback, that being number 13, Shane Wingate, who is listed as 6'2", 205 pounds. They line up now far hash mark. Twins on the far side. They send the tight end in motion. Shotgun formation. He fakes the handoff. It's a read option. Clifton Goodlow, the middle linebacker, in the backfield, gets the tackle. He will have nowhere to go. That brings up second down.
That was a stop there by the Bruins, just making sure that there is nowhere to go. And that is something that this 3-4 offense has really showed, is they can make it to where there is nowhere for the offense to run.
And the 3-4 defense, I mean, the Cowboys. The Cowboys. I don't want to plug the team I go for, but I'll talk about them in a moment as they line up. Twins on the far side and near side. They send a man in motion, receives a snap, rolls right, throws right, and the player is down, incomplete. No, they'll call it complete at the 39-yard line, but we do have some laundry on the field. That will be a penalty, awaiting the call from the head referee. Maybe illegal contact.
I've never heard that before, laundry on the field. I like that.
That was one of the favorites of Nick Zabukis before he graduated. But no, as I was saying, the first example that comes to mind when you look at the NFL is the Dallas Cowboys ran a 3-4 defense, and they were very successful with it last season. If your linebackers are quick and can see where the ball is going, then you'll be set, and that's what Clifton Goodlow did on that last play. So I believe those were offsetting penalties. It appeared that they were, but they may have been one. No, they were offsetting. As they line up now, twins either side, shotgun formation. Bruins show blitz, don't bring it. He throws right. It is picked off by Andrew Sandley, running down the right sideline. He's to the 20, 15, 10, and he will be pushed. No, touchdown Bruins, yes. It appeared he slowed down, but he made it into the end zone there. An excellent play by your Bruins. And, wow.
They threw it right to the defensive back and who happens to be a receiver. He caught the ball and took it all the way to the house right there. Just excellent play by Andrew Sandley.
Sandley, very impressive on that, because not only was the ball thrown behind the receiver, so he had to get his head back around and see where the ball was going. Blocking the back on the Bruins. That's not a touchdown, but it still stands as an interception, so that's good enough. But either way, I believe, I'm not sure who did it, but I saw that block in the back. It was on Andrew's way home, you can call it. But no, Andrew Sandley somehow caught the ball, got his head around, saw where the ball was, caught it, somehow stayed in bounds, got the feet down, and then ran in to the end zone. Now we come up shotgun formation, Twins on either side, balls on the far hash. Brock Morris hands it off to Kevin May on the left. He's going left. He cuts upfield at the 20 to the 15, cuts right at the 10 to the 5, and is brought down hard at the 4-yard line. Kevin May, with that excellent eyesight we always talked about last season, found a way to get as many yards as possible. I thought he was going for the corner, but he cut upfield and got as many as he could. An impressive play as we go hurry-up offense, pistol formation, Twins far side, Twins near side, timeout by the Rangers.
Yeah, that was excellent by Kevin May. There were several times I thought he had nowhere to go. I thought he was down, and he just cuts in and then cut back further to the center of the field and just found a hole and ran to it.
Kevin May is one of those players where when you see him play, at the beginning of a play, your thought process is basically, he might be doing a little bit too much here. And then it goes further on, and you're like, he's really going to get tackled for a loss. He could have gotten more yards. And then somehow he gets like double the amount you thought he was going to originally get. His eyesight is excellent. That's something that I'm shocked that he saw, the hole on that cutback. I thought he was running for the corner, but he cut very fast upfield, and he could have just run for the corner at that point and tried to make it into the end zone, but instead he cut to the right where there was arguably more room, and unfortunately he couldn't get to the end zone, but he did.
Thought it looked like he had a clear shot to the end zone. That guy came in from behind and got him.
Came out of nowhere.
Literally nowhere, and hit him hard. I was shocked. I was trying to figure out where he came from.
But that was a good hit by them, a good stop. First and goal now from the Bruin 5. That's where they marked him down, I believe. Bruin 4, actually. Pistol formation, Twins on either side. Ball is about the middle of the hash marks now. Pearson's going to go in motion to the right. They fake the handoff to Kevin May. Brock Morris is going on the outside. Tries to get in, and he does. The mobile quarterback, you could call him, Brock Morris, gets in for the Bruin touchdown. We're going to go up 6-0 now with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play.
Definitely a mobile quarterback. You know, Brock Morris comes to us from, I believe, Tri-County, correct?
Germantown.
Germantown, that's right. That's right. I mean, he has brought a great skill set to this Bruin offense.
And just plays like that where he's able to just see where he needs to go with it, and he does, is just great. As John Rivnak puts the ball through the uprights, that'll make it 7-0 Bruins. 2 minutes, 25 seconds left to go in this first quarter of play. Bruins have had it's been a very interesting season. To get points up first in this game, which is going to be a slugfest, I'm sure, is a big deal, especially when you're capitalizing on turnovers and you're getting first downs when you're making broken plays like Kevin May did on the last drive. When you're getting a broken play where you're not even supposed to get the ball and you're getting 10 yards out of it, I mean, the Bruins, if they continue, this could be a fun night for them.
You know, I believe that too, and, you know, capitalizing on mistakes and then just taking their own broken plays and turning them into something great. That's something I've always known the Bruins seem to be good at, and if they can keep doing it tonight, this is going to turn out to be a great night at Bill Rayfield Field.
It very much will be as the lights come on now. Rivnak ready to hit the ball away from the middle, from in between the hashes at the 40-yard line. Back to receive. I cannot see the numbers for Richland, but I believe it is 42 and 23. I'll get you those names in one moment. 23 is Sam McDonald, the sophomore. Rivnak's going to put a right boot into the ball. It's a high end-over-end kick. It'll be received by both of them almost, but one of them at the 5-yard line. He runs upfield, tries to find a hole, and he does, up to the 30-yard line. Gets tackled at the 29 by Caleb Wilson, a name we're calling a lot tonight.
That is true. I mean, Caleb, I expect you to hear his name on the microphone probably 20 more times But, I mean, John, what was going on? It looked like they both thought that they were going to receive the kickoff.
Well, kickoff team, special teams is chaos. It is one of the most fun and scariest plays teams to be on, from what I've heard from the football players. And it is chaos. Everybody's just going on what we called was Stone Hickman last year. We called him the kamikaze runner. He would just run in and throw his body at the runner no matter where they were going. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But that's what kickoff team is, and sometimes they kind of part the Red Sea like that. And but good for Caleb Wilson. He got him down. I formation now. Bruins show blitz. Twins far side, one near side. They hand it off up the middle, and he will be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets back up there. That's number 12. Once again, that is Christian Benson, the senior running back.
The Bruin blitz has just shown some amazing plays tonight. I think that is what Coach Moore was talking about. You know, it's going to make big plays and give up big plays. We have definitely seen some big plays made, and they are packing a heavy blitz.
Plays like that, they're excellent. Kevin May, Joe Pearson, and Clifton Goodlow all running in, ready for that blitz. It really throws an offense off guard, and it makes you think, well, what are we going to do when we have 5 seconds on the play clock? They now line up I formation again. They do a fullback. No, they fake the fullback dive. It's a pitch out right, and he will get tackled by, I believe, Brandon Taylor. Gets him up in the air and on the ground. Wow.
Almost as if it was an attempted body slam, had him completely airborne and then brought him down.
Just suplexes the running back real quick.
Oh, that would be great.
But no, yeah, that
would be better than the fake punt.
I don't know about that. But no, they faked the fullback dive, had an option left. He did pitch it at about the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 7 now for the Rangers. They come out. Shotgun formation, their passing formation so far tonight. Twins near side, one far side. They send their tight end in motion. He receives the snap. He moves, rolls out right. He gets getting pressure in his face, and the pass is incomplete. It was thrown over the middle to number 42. That is George Walker III from my roster, the freshman. So that is very interesting. A 75-man roster, and you have a freshman starting at wide receiver. It's always nice to see.
I mean, that just shows that freshman has really earned his spot. Which, I mean, that is something that has always impressed me, is when you take a big team and you can and a freshman can earn a starting position.
It shows how good the freshman can be. Kevin May is lined up at the 25-yard line. The punter is lined up at the 20. So this may be a big punt here, as he gets a right boot into the ball, almost blocked, and it will bounce at the 40-yard line. It'll take a Ranger bounce to the 38 as they will down the ball there.
It looked like we were very close to seeing a block there with that ball. I mean, it was inches away, a narrow miss.
We were very close. Had we gotten it, that would have been, that would have been something.
That would have been crazy.
If we can just have those simple plays that can put us in the lead, that would really affect the game. And just taking advantage when we can on those kind of niche plays that you don't expect anything to happen, but it still does. As the Bruins line up now, pistol formation, May in at running back, Twins near side, Twins far side. Near hash is where the ball is as Andrew Sandley sent in motion to the right. It's a triple option. Brock Morris keeps it, pitches it to Sandley. He tries to find somewhere to go, and he does, up to the 45. He cuts out left to the 50 and gets tackled down by the jersey at the 49-yard line. That's a 1st down Bruins. Morris somehow found something to do, something that would work, and so did Andrew Sandley.
Yeah, that is just – I really think that plays off the versatility of this Bruin team. I mean, they can always seem to make something out of nothing.
They very much can, as the play clock and game clock are lined up now. So this is going to be probably the last play of the first quarter before they switch sides. Morris in the pistol formation, Twins either side, sends Sandley in motion. It's a triple option again. He hands it to May up the middle, who gets 5 yards, gets tackled down at the 45. 3 seconds left in the first quarter. That will end it for us. 7:28 right now, that first quarter being about 25 minutes, because we did start a little late. In real time, 12 minutes of game time. And that is the end of the first quarter. Bruins up 7-0. Jack, how do you think that first quarter was?
John, I think that's a big confidence boost, being up with a 7-0 score at the end of the quarter. I think that's something that the Bruins have needed all season long, and now that they've got it, I think they've got the momentum, they've got the confidence. I think that really just sparked the fire under them for the rest of the game.
And I think that's the best I think that's the best quarter of football the Bruins have played all year.
That's the best I've seen this season.
I mean, Andrew Stanley on that last play. I mean, Brock Morris had nowhere to go. He kept the ball, but they had 2 stacked defensive ends on that right side. So he read one, and the other was in his face. So he just had to pitch it and hope for the best. And so when he did, I mean, that's a real question as to how Stanley would do. But he got the ball thinking, well, what do I do now? Found a hole, went there, first down. If the Bruins continue play like that, we'll be set as the Richland Rangers try to line up in the Bruin backfield now before realizing, oh, we've switched sides. And that'll move the Bruins from the defending the north end zone to defending the south end zone now, moving left to right on your computer screen or radio. Pistol formation, twins on either side, Fry and Helms on the near side, Sandley and Wilson on the far side. Morris sends Sandley in motion. It's a triple option again. Morris keeps it. He might pitch it to Sandley. He has nowhere to go with the ball, so he's going to run for a couple yards. I believe he just got back to the line of scrimmage. Sandley kind of stopped with the option, stopped running with him, and unfortunately the pitch was not there. Morris did try to at one point throughout that play.
It looks like it could have been a 1-yard gain there. Trying to figure out where they spotted it and where the marker was.
They gave him a yard, but I don't think they should have. But I mean, if it helps us, it's okay.
I definitely think they should have. It was a yard for the Bruins.
3rd and 4 now. It's going to be at the near hash. Morris is awaiting the snap. Pistol formation. Twins on the near side. Twins on the far side. 5 seconds on the play clock. Morris receives the snap. Fakes the handoff. Throws over the middle to Helms. Overthrown. Nobody was there. Reed Fry looking a little frustrated on that one.
Yeah, I think Reed Fry is trying to say that he was open rather than that the ball was thrown into coverage. But, it happens. We've still got another down. I do think they're going to go for it.
And they go for it. Pistol formation, trying to get 12 men on the field. Timeout is called by the Richland Rangers. That's what you wanted to happen. So they try to catch them with 12 men on the field. So as their punt team came on and as their defense ran off, tried to snap the ball but couldn't get set in time. Timeout by the Rangers. But it works because now they have one less timeout, as they only have 1 timeout left. We have 3. With 11 minutes left, that can really affect them. If they get the ball last in this half, we might be set by making them lose that timeout.
That is true, John. That is something that you always have to take into account and be smart with. Coaches have to be smart with their timeouts.
And also, you got to take into account we get the ball back to start the second half. If we get the ball last and maybe get some if we get points last, that could set us up for the remainder of this game. If we can go up a couple drives, up and score, but that is thinking a little forward now.
Yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves, John. But yeah, I do think that is a very real possibility.
4th and 4. Keegan Helms coming across, and they're gonna whistle it dead. Oh, that's gonna be an offsides on the defense. That is going to be a Bruin first down. Encroachment, defense, first down. So
that's one way to do it.
That's one way of doing it. I love how Coach Bond has these little like niche plays that somehow you never know how, but they work. And he sent Keegan Helms in motion, but when he sends players in motion, he sends them behind the quarterback and the running back. Helms went at Brock. So maybe, that just caught him off guard enough to get him off sides, and that would be a first down Bruins. As we are now lined up at the 40-yard line. Pistol formation, twins either side. Morris sends Helms in motion. Normally this time it's a triple option. Morris has nowhere to go. He cuts back right, tries to go upfield, trucks a man at the 35, loses the football, and the ball goes out of bounds. Morris tried to corral it again, but it went out of bounds, and that's all that matters.
That was a close call there for the Bruins. Still good play, making something out of nothing for about a 5-yard gain.
Nicholas Burley on the sideline picked up the ball as soon as it went out of bounds, just to make sure the refs knew.
Just so there's no confusion whatsoever.
That's a new highlight. As we line up now, pistol formation, twins on either side. Morris awaiting the snap, receives it, hands it off to Pearson fumbles the football and and he lost it. Rangers may have fallen on it. They say they have it. Morris tried to keep it after handing it to Joe. That's Ranger football. Morris just dropped it. It was at the foot of a defensive lineman. He just tried to kind of grab at it just to keep it away, not knowing if the defensive lineman knew maybe he could pick it up and go. he couldn't, and that's what led to that turnover.
I mean, John, after you drop the football in that type of situation, there's really not a whole lot that you can do.
You just got to hope for the best and grab. Grab the football, hope for the best. Morris showing some frustration on the sideline. So something I've noticed is our defensive line is Christopher Watson, Josh Briscoe, and William Turner. Our entire offensive line is not on the field, so they're not playing both ways so far tonight. Shotgun formation, twins either side. They send a man in motion. They fake the handoff to him. It's up to 12, up the middle. He gets the ball first down at the 50-yard line. As I was saying, the defensive line is only playing one side of the ball so far tonight, obviously to conserve energy. Jack, what are your thoughts on that decision?
I mean, John, I think that players are going to play best when they get a little bit of rest. Just between defense and offense, and it keeps them fresh. So I think that I 100% agree with that decision.
I do as well. They send the same formation, man in motion for the other side. Clifton Goodlow broke through the line, but they have an end around going to the right side. He falls forward for a first down again. Bruins broke through the line there, but couldn't do much after that. As I talked to Coach Wilson, he said if the offensive line does well, we'll have a good day. So having them get some rest, I mean, it seems to be working so far. Unfortunate on that turnover, but I mean, the defensive line's doing all right. They just got to keep fighting and get those players down when they can. Shotgun formation, ball is at the 39-yard line. Twins on either side. They send a man in motion from the right. They fake the handoff. It's a quarterback draw up the middle. He fights forward, gets a first down, going left, trying to get the corner, and he does, to the 10, to the 5. Keegan Helms gets him out of bounds at the 1.
And Keegan Helms showing his impressive speed, coming all the way across the field at a slant to just barely knock him out of bounds. I mean, not barely knock him out, but knock him out in the nick of time.
I mean, they marked him at the 1-inch line. That's crazy to think. But as the defensive line will come off the field, the Bruins send in their goal line package. That's their entire offensive line, plus Joe Pearson, Clifton Goodlow, Reed Fry being that lone safety. They have 2 receivers in the game still. Appears to just be a passing formation, shotgun formation with the offset tight end. Twins on the near side, one far side. They move that offset tight end. They hand it off up the middle, and he's in for a touchdown. That'll bring the score 7-6 with 9 minutes left to go in this first half of play. Now Richland will have to come in and see if they can tie this one up on this extra point. Jack, what's the takeaway from that drive?
I mean, John, it shaped up to be a pretty good drive, and then the fumble did cost us a touchdown. But, I do think the Bruins are playing really good this game. I do think that is going to hurt the momentum just a little bit, but I'm sure that we can pick that right back up.
Momentum has been a big deal so far this season.
It really has, more so than any other season that I can recall.
Very much so. I mean, the Bruins have if something goes wrong immediately, oh no. But if something goes well, we're all over it. And that's something that we really, I feel like, need to get rid of. When the momentum's on our side, we got to let it be on our side. But when it's not, we gotta forget about that.
That's right. We can't just let it kill us when it's not necessarily going our way. And, I mean, I definitely celebrate the little victories, the small victories, a good play, whatever. But do not let that determine the outcome of the drive or the outcome of the game. But, I mean, overall, I do think that momentum is a key factor in any sporting event or any team sport, I might add. Just it keeps the morale on the field high.
It does. As the Bruins are getting ready to receive this kick, a kickoff return touchdown right here would be great. But as they line up their kicker, I'm not sure his number. I'll see if I can get it in just one moment.
I sent you a video of a fake fair catch play. I definitely am going to show that to Coach Barnes, just see if we can try that.
Their kicker is Jacob Young, the sophomore. He doesn't have measurables in max preps, but he will kick this ball away. He's a good kicker. Got a couple touchbacks last week as he puts a right boot into this ball. It's a pooch kick, calling fair catch by Brandon Taylor, who will take a knee as well as calling fair catch. Almost got hit anyway, but he didn't. That
was a narrow miss. It almost looked from our angle that he did get a little bump, but not much.
The North Texas player who, did the fake fair catch last year. That was fun to watch. I really enjoyed that.
I mean, that was amazing. The kickoff team started walking to the sideline. He said, "Thank you, I'm gone."
And that really surprises me because when you think about it, on punt team, what are you looking at if you don't see the receiver? Like, you're running
that
right
is
at
true.
him.
You're running towards him. How do you
not see that? I mean, how
do you not see him not do the fair catch symbol? I guess when he just stood there and did
benefit of the
not
doubt.
move an inch, you assume.
But I'm not sure. Anyways.
Amazing play.
Very much so. Anyways, as the Bruins will line up now at the 27-yard line, so just almost at where we'd be lined up for a touchdown, 7 yards away from that. Pistol formation, Twins either side. They will send Sandley in motion. It's an end around to him. He cuts upfield, has nowhere to go. Gets tackled 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 13 for the Bruins. As Richland's mascot, I'd like to mention, is just the headpiece.
Is it really? Where do you see that?
At the end of their players down there, it's just the headpiece, it appears. But as we're going to line up again, Twins either side pistol formation. Morris is going to send Sandley in motion again. It's going to be a triple option. No, it's a fake. He throws it in the flat to Joe Pearson, who will drop it. Reed Fry frustrated again as he's been beating that corner all night. I've noticed that. Have you seen that, Jack?
I have seen that. And then you see number 5 for Richland, the safety coming across, almost trying to intercept it out of Joe Pearson's hands.
And it's unfortunate. Reed Fry is really looking forward to play a big play with him. And I think if he gets the ball in his hands, he could do well. They're putting him in press coverage, and I think he's done well. Shotgun formation, Twins on either side now. Morris receives a snap, drops back to pass. Reed Fry is open, and he looks up for him, and it is over the head. He cannot get to it, but Morris kind of gave him that look, decided, hey, I'll throw it to you. We'll see what happens. Couldn't get it.
I'm sure that also has to be frustrating for Reed Fry. I mean, he has been looking for the ball just constantly tonight. It hasn't been thrown his way, and then it was overthrown. But, I really do expect big things from Reed Fry. So I cannot wait for him to get the ball in his hands and make a good play, a big play, good play.
I think he's got that in him as we line up 4th and 11 now at the 26-yard line. Rivnak has the ball in his hand. Will punt the ball away. It's a high, wobbly kick. It'll take a Bruin bounce, a big Bruin bounce to the 30-yard line. Bounce at the 45. Be down there by Clifton Goodlow. That is where the Rangers will come out and start with 7 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in this first half. I'm not sure who Mr. Casarino will have on at the halftime show, but I'm looking forward to it.
I always look forward to it. He can always find a guest. When I did the halftime show, it was a struggle. I had to spend all week trying to get someone to come on the air. I'd be asking teachers, faculty members, just random people who had something to do with St. Joe. And as soon as they found out that it could be a long interview, they were like, I don't think so.
Well, you could literally talk about anything. It's always a fun time. Shotgun formation, Twins either side. He fakes the hand. No, he does. He fakes the handoff. It's a quarterback draw off the middle. And he will get about 5 yards. On that one, that is their quarterback, Shane Wingate. I believe it's Shane Wingate Jr. because Shane Wingate is also listed on the coaching staff. And I don't think that'd be legal if he played as well.
I think that would definitely raise a couple red flags there.
I do. I believe so as well. As sun is just about all the way gone now. Just got a little bit of the sunset left. The lights are basically all we got now. Shotgun formation. Twins on either side. He receives the snap. It's an end around to the right to number 8. Joe Pearson is there and will get him down after about a 2-yard gain. That's number 8, Malachi Newell, the junior. He's 5'9", if I were to guess, about 170.
John, I'm liking this defensive stand on this drive.
I think we could keep this up. The defense has really been my favorite thing to watch so far this season. I don't know why. I just really enjoy this defense and how we run it. Reed Fry is our lone safety right now. That really shows how we are feeling about this run game, how we don't think that they will run the ball that much, as we have been running dual safeties throughout this entire season. Shotgun formation, Twins either side. They're going to send a man in motion. It's a fake to him, run up the middle to number 12. He'll get tackled, but not before he gets a first down. 4-yard gain there. I believe that is the announcer jinx coming in.
Yeah, who knows? That could have been, that could have caused a couple mishaps in our previous games. We definitely need to be more careful about that. Especially with our next game being on Friday the 13th, we cannot have any unnecessary bad luck.
against St. Andrews as well. That's that. Of course they would schedule that. That's hilarious. They line up shotgun formation, twins either side. It's a quarterback draw to the left. He's got a lead blocker in his running back. He gets the corner now, and he's running upfield at the 40. He runs out of bounds, cornered out of there by Sandley and Fry. The 40-yard line. That's another first down, Richland.
I mean, you can see Andrew Sandley, Joe Pearson, and Reed Fry all running towards him, almost like they're running in formation, just trying to corral him out of bounds or get the stop. Excellent play right there by the outside guys.
It looked almost as if they had a hand in Antonio Handy's jersey or something. It looked like a little bit of a hold. I mean, it was a questionable call, so I can understand why they didn't call it. But, I mean, they might want to pay attention to that going throughout the rest of the game, as there's now 5 minutes and 58 seconds left to go in this first half. And I believe that is St. Joe's first timeout, or maybe it was a referee timeout. I'm not sure, because they have been keeping track of timeouts on the scoreboard, as Richland only has one and we have three. But we're going to hurry up and go back out there on this first down. So the Rangers playing now on the Bruins side of the field, defending the north side, defending the north end zone now. They will line up their quarterback in the shotgun. Twins on either side. The ball is on the near hash mark. He's awaiting the snap. He's trying to send the man in motion, and he does. His running back to the other side of him, to the left now. They run into each other. He's just going to try to run for it. Josh Briscoe is there, multiple players, and he'll be taken out of bounds by William Turner, who loses his helmet. That is a funny play.
That was a great play. And William throws his helmet back on and tries to run back into the field to play, but the rule does state that if you lose your helmet, you have to sit out a play. The referee kind of caught him mid-stride there to tell him.
William Turner kind of out of frustration there. Just you could tell in that tackle, just getting frustrated, just launched him onto the ground. I mean, he's noticeably smaller than the quarterback, but he kind of decked him there.
Sure did. As
they come out. Same formation they've been having this whole drive. They fake the handoff. It's an end around to the right. Josh Briscoe is there for contain. Same with his best friend, Kevin May, and they get the stop. No gain.
They get the stop there, and it also appeared that the Richland player ran into his own lead blocker.
Yeah,
did you see that, John?
I thought I'd mention, their offensive lineman gave us a bit of a hand on that one, but
just a little bit, but no, it was 90% Bruins, 10% their lineman.
Josh Briscoe kind of bull rushed him into the runner, which is always fun to watch. But no, Kevin May also there on the stop. They kind of remind me of the Bogachito offense from last year that ran the end around constantly, as they're going to send another man in motion, fake the end around. It's a quarterback draw. Kevin May is there and throws that quarterback down, celebrating a bit in the backfield. That'll bring up fourth down. No, excuse me. I thought that was second down. Fourth down now. 4 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in this first half. I almost said third quarter. And so they're in an interesting situation. They're at the 36-yard line. Do you kick a field goal here, Jack?
John, I don't know. Personally, I say go for it, because I want to minimize the amount of time that the Bruins are going to have the ball before the half, just because if they have it before the half, then they're getting it right back after halftime.
I think you take a delay of game and punt it so that you can get 5 yards back to get it in the end zone. The play clock is over, has run out. It is at 0. Timeout Bruins. I guess just not. I don't know.
For a second, it looked like they were going to do exactly what you said, take that delay of game, but apparently that was a timeout there.
Yeah, you might want to just take a delay of game, let your punter get 5 extra yards back so that he can hit it out towards the sideline at about like the 10-yard line. You aim for about the 10, hope for the best, and maybe just get it down out of bounds, or just down to inside the 5, inside the 20. But no, 4 minutes, 16 seconds left to go. Bruins could have a lengthy drive and
it is possible
close out the half with a touchdown, get the ball back, and have the opportunity to go up 2 possessions. That would be
easy there with that announcer jinx. Come on, we gotta work on that.
That's supposed to be something that I use against you, not something.
I know, and then you start doing it too.
But no, that could be a game plan we can kind of fall back on. And hope for the best with that. just getting the ball and running out. So they're coming out, appearing to be in the Wildcat formation, as their running back is lined up at corner. What is this formation? They have like 9 down linemen.
It's like a two deep line.
He's going to run to the right. They try to get a first down. Brandon Taylor is the only one there, and he will get a stiff arm on Kevin May and go up the field.
John, I gotta say, I like that play. It tangled up all of our defenses and definitely stopped the blitz. But they literally had a O-line on the line of scrimmage and then a backup O-line down in the 3-point stance as well.
I never thought I'd say the words, they have 9 down linemen about a football. I've seen 2 and 3, and I've even seen 1. But
yeah,
I've never
see the
seen
funky plays with, like, they're all spread out. But you don't ever see that.
I didn't even know that was legal. Coach Bond might snag that for us, as they have an end around to the left now. He cuts up field. It's number 19 on this one. Andrew Sandley came off his block and got the tackle by the shoestrings on that one. That was number 19, Ethan McMillan. But no, I didn't know that was a legal formation. I had no idea.
I would have never thought about that formation, legal or not, because you just don't see that ever.
Could you run 10 down linemen with a single runner?
I mean, if you run 9, why can't you do 10?
I mean, you got a point. I mean, maybe the limit is 9.
I don't know if anyone's really thought that far into it, because they weren't even, like, on the line. They were stacked behind.
They were behind the line.
It looked like they were just trying to really prevent that Bruin blitz, which, I mean, props for us if it takes that much to stop the blitz.
I mean, could you run 10 down linemen and a fullback that's down? So you just snap it into him and hope for the best? So you have 11 down linemen, essentially?
I guess.
My brain hurts thinking about this. All right.
Yeah, but where would he go?
I have no idea. Shotgun formation. They fake the end around. They handed number 48. He's running around the right side. The quick man all the way back up. It was a penalty on that one. They lost 10 yards due to a hold, but he got all the way. He got all of that back now. That's number 48. That is Zach Kelly, who plays wide receiver. Interesting. The written roster has a different person as number 48, so I'm a tad confused, but that's what it says on Max Prep, so I'm going to go with it. And that is now, they're going to line up. Same formation. They have not run their I formation at all this drive. Their fullback has not come in for a single play, as the quarterback draw is here again, and he will be brought down by number 15. That's Christopher Watson, who's been playing defensive end tonight.
Christopher Watson is also a sophomore who has really stepped up this year. One of the young. We were talking about the young guys earlier. He's definitely one of the ones that we're going to be talking about him for a couple years.
And we might. I mean, he's got the stature of a really good wide receiver. He's tall. He's I mean, maybe he's a tad skinny, but he's
a very strong guy,
and he can jump very high. So I mean, wide receiver years down the line, it could be interesting. Same formation again. Bruins kind of jump, but it's okay. They hand it off on a sweep to the right. Number 12 has it. He'll get a first down and more. That'll get him to the 8-yard line. 2 minutes left in this first half of play. Bruins need the ball back. We have 2 timeouts.
John, I think if the Bruins can get the ball back and turn this into something big, that is going to be a pivotal point in the game.
It definitely can be. If we go into the half tied or up a score, that would be great. But I mean, ideal situations is not the way you want to think about football, I guess. Same formation, shotgun, twins on either side, ball's on the far hash. He fakes the handoff. It's a quarterback draw to the left, and he gets tackled down by Clifton Goodlow at about the 4-yard line. The offensive line coming back in now in their goal line package.
And that's something that I've noticed. He is sparing that offensive line until they are needed at the goal line, which I really like. I think it's a good way to keep the players fresh.
The offensive line is very much seems to be the Bruin coach's key to victory here. They line up same formation, 4-yard line. Receives a snap, hands it off right. It's a sweep right. He gets tackled down before the end zone. That is about the 2-yard line. Just slowly inching closer. I talked with Coach Michael Howell, the basketball coach, before this game, and he said that, that could be a big thing. If we can't tackle, then they can get 5-6 yards every single play, and that can be an issue. 3rd down now. We want to hold them to at least, at most. We want to hold them at most to a field goal. They need 3 yards for touchdown. Shotgun formation. Their fullback is back in the game. I formation, actually, excuse me. They hand it off to him up the middle, and he will be stopped by the Bruin defense. The goal line package and the 2 linebackers coming in clutch, holding them to a 4th down. Jack, do you think they're going to go for it? Bruins, I think, need to call a timeout, actually.
I think the Bruins need to call a timeout now, and I do think that the Raiders will go for the touchdown, being
Rangers.
this close.
Rangers?
Is it Rangers?
It is Rangers.
I've been saying Raiders in my head like all night.
It is the Rangers. So
Good
Bruins are not calling timeout. There is 35 seconds left. I believe Mr. Casarino has grabbed Father Nick Adam for the halftime show.
7 seconds on the play clock.
So look forward to that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Rangers just gonna.
They didn't seem to even move towards the line. It's like they were trying to take the delay of game.
I mean, I'm not sure. Bruins not calling timeout. I don't know the thought process behind the call. Maybe just players are tired, want to go to the half, want to talk it over, and
Possibly.
I think we can do that.
You never know.
I mean, you never know. Maybe, I mean, I don't want to think about hypotheticals here, but no. So far, what the takeaways, the takeaways from this half, I believe, could be just miscues on both sides, because
on both sides, but also just capitalizing on those miscues,
Indeed.
which has happened both ways. You know, I'd much rather it happen with the Bruins capitalizing and the other team making miscues, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Overall, John, I think it's been a pretty successful half.
I think so as well. If the fumble never happened, I mean, I don't want to think about if the fumble never happened. What we need to do now that the fumble has happened is just forget about it and just go along throughout our day and just try
throughout our night.
Try to forget about it and go forward.
They're doing it again.
Their lineup I formation. They're going for it again. It's weird full house set, and they will go in. They mark him short. Bruin. No, they give him a touchdown.
Oh, he dove over the line.
That's a real late call. It was. I thought it was a full house set for a second, but I said I formation, and then they just ran in. So yeah, a weird formation. I don't know what formation that was. I could not tell.
It looked like, you know, the 9 down lineman again.
And anyways, excuse me. I apologize. As now there's 16 seconds left to go. Bruins down 13-7 going into the half. Maybe have a Hail Mary or 2. Maybe we can get in field goal range. Don't have a lot of time to do that, though, as the extra point is almost blocked, but it won't be. It is good. 16 seconds left. They're going to do a pooch kick, as getting a little halftime analysis from I assume this would be my dad. He says that we are having a little bit of difficulty setting the edge, as I kind of wanted to mention that, but didn't think about it, how they're often running to the corners and trying to get the corner, and they're succeeding on multiple plays there, and they're running up the middle very little. I feel like almost they're running up the middle, but they're always cutting outside when the line. Their line is not very big. Their offensive line is not very big, so they're going to be cutting outside very often. We got to keep an eye on the corner there and can't let them get that. As number 31, that is Jacob Young, the sophomore, gets ready to kick this one away. He'll put a right boot into the ball at the 40-yard line. Andrew Sandley, Keegan Helms, and Kevin May back to receive. That is Stephen Rimmer in the spot where the last pooch kick went. In case they try it again, they might try it towards Clifton Goodlow's side, in which case we just got to get as many yards as we can and get down and just toss one up, maybe try to get a John Rivnak field goal in there before the half. That way we would make it a one-possession game for us to be in the lead.
And there's only 16 minutes remaining in the half, so it's going to have to be a very, very quick drive.
Indeed, 16 seconds on that.
I said seconds.
I said minutes.
Excuse me, there's 16 seconds remaining.
So now he's going to straight leg kick it as far as he can. Keegan Helms is going to receive at the 15. He was running up the middle, trying to find a hole, and he does. He's cutting outside, gets a couple blocks, 40-yard line. A flag is going to be down for holding. That's not a holding on Christopher Watson. That is exactly who he was looking at. He'll get down at the 50. Ball will be marked at the 30 with 3 seconds left to go. And this is where we come in with our screen. the draw screen, as I like to call it, holding. They're going to call that on Christopher Watson. I disagree. He had him on either side of the shoulder pads and just kind of pushed him back. And I mean, it's a questionable call. You could call it,
could
but
go either way. I do think that is a fair call. Just because in that situation it could go either way.
I can understand it, but in a situation like this where there's 3 seconds left, we get to the 50-yard line. We have a chance at one Hail Mary. In high school, you're not going to see a lot of quarterbacks who could throw it 50 yards. So we just got to see. I mean, I just disagree with the call in this scenario. As Kevin May is in the game at running back, I'm sure our play call is going to be that quick screen to him. Brock Morris is going to drop back and just toss it up, kind of Tim Tebow jump pass to Kevin May, who could try to get as many yards as possible. And that's what I expect here. As Morris awaits the snap, shotgun formation, receives it. No, it's a screen to Sandley. He will get the ball, try to find somewhere to go, but get tackled down. That'll be the end of the half. We'll go to the halftime show with Mr. Terry Casarino, who's bringing along Father Nick Adam, going to talk all things priestliness and possibly his podcast that he has. So here's Mr. Casarino.
And this is Terry Casarino. We're here at Bill Rayfield Field on the campus of St. Joseph Catholic School in Madison, where the score between the Bruins and Richland, the Bruins are down 7-14 to the Richland Rangers. And I'm joined here in the booth by Father Nick Adam.
Terry, how's it going
Father
tonight?
Nick, how you doing tonight?
Oh, it's a beautiful night. Bruins are playing well.
They are. They're playing really good. This is a really competitive game tonight.
Yeah, second week in a row, St. Joe gets off to a great start. Gets on the board first, 7-0 right off the bat. But
let me pause real quick for station ID. This is WJXC Jackson, Mississippi Catholic Radio, 107.9 FM. I'm sorry, let's go back. What you were talking about?
Another hot start for the Bruins. Going right down, getting on the board first, 7-0, just like last week. And last week was really the penalties in the first half that kind of stumped the Bruins and could have had a lead going into halftime last week. I feel like against Cathedral, but. This week it was that one turnover. St. Joe got a fourth down conversion, kind of deep in there in Richland's end there.
Yep.
And but turnovers can kill you.
Yeah.
Turnovers can kill you. So 14-7.
But they have been playing more aggressively, I think, tonight and on offense. Not as many mistakes as the past couple of weeks.
Oh, light years ahead of where they were, and that's kind of the typical thing that you'd expect early in a season. I know Coach Bond been working on a lot more, kind of a hybrid triple option with the guys in the shotgun, but really it's a lot of triple option concepts, and so one of those goes awry, and that's kind of the difference in the game right now.
Well, you must feel back at home, so to speak, in the booth here, talking about football on a Friday night. Because you did a lot of this back in Meridian before you became a priest.
This was, I was talking to some of our parents down below, and I just said I was watching the Friday Night Blitz people, picking up the highlights, and I said, Andrew Sandley gets the interception, and he actually returned it for a touchdown. It got called back, and then I can't remember who scored the touchdown for St. Joe, but they quickly get a touchdown, and I was like, man, I can't believe they're still here, because I had 2 more games to cover.
Yeah.
If I'm running from school to school, I'm just happy to get 1 touchdown, and I'm out. So always good to be out here on a Friday night, and you just see like the whole community come together.
Yeah.
I had the opening prayer today, and you kind of football has that special aspect to it that everybody's here. You have the band's here, the cheerleaders are here, the spirit steppers are here. The faculty's here. It's not because football's the best. Obviously, we have talented athletes in all of our sports, but it's because it's just a cool, community event. That
it is. It's community. That's what kind of makes our school different than some of the other ones in the Jackson area. The communal feeling that we have here, and you see kids. I think one of the neatest things about St. Joe is you see a lot of students out here at these events cheering on their fellow students. And then when the ones who are out here cheering are playing in a game in the spring, the same students who are out there playing in the fall are back out there cheering for them too.
And even last night I was at the volleyball game, packed. The student section was packed. A lot of these football players out there ready to go, ready to cheer, ready to be loud, ready to be distracting to the opponent. And so it's just I know it's been a rough start to the season, but I don't know. I see good things. I think this is an offense and a defense that kind of it's catered to. A small roster, which is what we've got. We got to deal with a small roster, and Coach Bond knows that. And so, so these kids are really playing well. I'll tell you, the person that stood out to me, Kevin May had a great first half. I think he scored the touchdown, and then Andrew Stanley's been everywhere. Andrew Stanley gets a pick six, called back, but still got a pick six. Made a big catch on the offensive side of the ball. So. St. Richard kid, so I got to shout him out.
You mentioned you mentioned Andrew Stanley and Kevin May. They're two of my broadcast students.
Oh yeah,
they're
good.
both in my broadcast program. I teach high school journalism, and
that's right.
And both of them were anchors on today's edition of Bruin News Now.
Well, good.
Kevin made his debut as news anchor, and Andrew anchored the sports segment.
That's awesome.
So they another example of how everybody does a little bit of everything at this campus.
Oh yeah, and just talented kids and a well-rounded education. It's not about just focusing on one thing and just kind of beating that into the ground. It's just being into everything. Grayson Foley's down here. He's running with the flag, and he's a great basketball player. And just I was talking to Jane Ladner, who's grandmother here, and she said, "Well, I've got girls that the Ladner triplets. I've got girls that play tennis and cheer and play basketball and play all these different things." So. Just a lot of fun, and then the band has really been excellent. They've been the drum line's been awesome.
You're right about it. That this year, there's something about the band that Ronnie Russell's done this year with them. I don't know what he's done with them, but this is probably the strongest I've heard the band this early in the season.
Yeah,
all from the beginning of the school year through today, they've just sounded very cohesive. The drum line is excellent this year, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something in the water around here.
Yeah, and I think just you see the generations of kids coming through, and the kids learn from an excellent senior class last year, and I look at somebody like Gabe Blaylock was a senior. He would take the stick and bang the drum and really be the leader, and now his little brother Declan is doing it, and so it's just cool. It's cool to see that. Also, some lineage from the St. Joe Band is a current priest in our diocese, Father Aaron Williams, who's a 2010 graduate of St. Joe. And so before I knew Mr. Russell, I knew of Mr. Russell because Father Aaron would tell me all about his days in the St. Joe Band. So, and that's another beautiful thing about this faculty. You have so many people that have been here for so many years and just, sharing their talents and sharing their gifts.
And dedicated, too. I mean, you talk about Ronnie Russell. I see him often in the morning before school starts working with students.
Yeah.
Teaching them how to play, working with their playing skills, and a lot of dedication on a lot of the faculty's part, too, as well as the interest among the students to be here and do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So just a great night to be out here. And, I was actually on the road today, so I'm everybody kind of asked me, they're like, okay, so are you the chaplain at St. Joe? And I'm like, well, not exactly. I'm kind of a pseudo chaplain because, part of the reason I have the job that I have now is because we need more priests. We're looking for young men who are willing to take on the call and at least consider it, and so I'm the vocation director now. So I was on the road today talking to some folks and came back in. So still have my post at St. Richard, still so I know a lot of these kids that were in my confirmation class,
right.
And, come to Mass every week at St. Richard, and then, you just want to be out here. You start, I know John and Jack from St. Francis, and you start to know these kids, and you just want to be a presence to them, and so, but yeah, that's something I'm passionate about is making the priesthood not relevant. It will always be relevant, but to show that it's just normal. It's a normal discernment that a young person should go through, and hopefully that's what I'm kind of working toward.
Now you're associate pastor out at St. Richard.
Correct.
And when you say a vocations director, you're vocations director for the Catholic Diocese of Jackson.
Correct.
Which takes up everything, north of Hattiesburg?
North of 98, basically.
North of 98?
You split 98
okay.
And just go north. So Natchez, you can go from Natchez in the southwest corner up to Corinth in the northeast corner, and then all the way back across to the west side of Mississippi. So we have a huge swath of land.
So tell us a little bit about being vocations director for the diocese. Does that take you all over the state, or
not yet? It's eventually going to. I just got assigned in June. So really the summer was like, okay, I'm going to build a plan, and my job is shared with Father Aaron Williams, who's the parochial vicar in Greenville,
right,
and works at St. Joe Greenville as well. And so he is the director of seminarians. So once the young man decides to go into the seminary, Father Aaron kind of takes over and makes sure that he's taken care of. Works with his class load, works with his formators in the seminary. My job is to promote and to recruit. And So yeah, I've been on the phone with campus ministers at Ole Miss, at Mississippi State. One of the big things that I think is just good is, again, just being present and accompanying young people and not beating them over the head with, oh, we have a priest shortage. This is such a disaster, and we need more priests. That's not really going to inspire somebody. But what inspires somebody is when you just present yourself as somebody that is joyful and happy, and hopefully that speaks a language all its own. We don't need a million priests.
Yeah.
We need good priests, and we need happy priests, so that's what I'm trying to kind of push forward and promote.
Now, you had a career before you did this. You were in broadcast journalism.
Correct.
Working at WTOK over in Meridian.
Yeah.
And what led you to become a priest?
Yeah, so everybody's different. Some people, are kind of torn and they don't know, and they're like, I don't know if God's really calling me to this, or is this just, a passing fad. Sometimes they're like, I hope it's a passing fad, because, I'd love to have a wife and children and kind of have that normal, typical life that enjoy. But as you know, that is a sacrifice all its own. That is a struggle all its own, and that takes the grace of God to live well as well. But for me, I was working in Meridian. I was doing this on a Friday night in a little bit different way. I was a sports anchor, so I was on the Friday Night Blitz. I was doing, compiling all these highlights. I was learning all these teams. I was learning how to pronounce these counties in Mississippi that I'd never, because I'm from Alabama, and so I'm learning this whole new territory. I'm learning who are the rivals, and I loved it. And I was just really rooted in that community. But then I was just sitting in Mass one day, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Honestly, there was no other way to say it, but I just had an experience of God. A great feeling of peace, a great feeling of His presence, and that He was real, and that my Catholic faith that I'd kind of grown in throughout my entire life was something that needed to be preached and promoted, and I guess to share the love of God with other people, which I think priests, ultimately are called to do. And so for me, it was getting to that point, like going to church. And because I actually stopped going to Mass when I was in college and had to kind of come back to the faith. But that first time back, actually, I just had this really incredible experience. I had a great relationship with my pastor, Father Frank Cosgrove, who I know impacted you. I think married you.
Yeah. He performed our wedding.
That's
my
right.
wife.
Yeah.
One of I think 3 priests who performed the wedding.
Yeah. So a great man and a great example. And I take that example and I'm just like, just be a good priest, and people will be attracted to that. And so that was my story. And it was funny too. Like, sports is such a huge part of my life, and but now I see it as, I used to see it as the end all be all. As like, if I went to Alabama, so if Alabama loses, it's the end of the world. And Alabama was not good when I was in school. Contrary to, I know no one thinks that there was ever a time when Alabama wasn't dominant, but there was. I was there to witness it. And, I really took it personally, and I took it, you see it as silly now, but I think sometimes we struggle to get out of that place, because we just keep kind of putting our hope and our dreams in things that are passing and things that we can't control. And that was a turning point for me to recognize that everything that is good in this world can serve a greater purpose. And so now I sit here at this football game, and I look out and I see my family. I see young men and women that I've gotten to know in such a wonderful way, and that I truly feel like their spiritual father.
Mm-hmm.
It's different than a biological parent, but it's just as real and just as valuable, you know? And so it's just neat. It's neat to kind of come full circle now and see sports as a supplement.
Yeah. Now, we'll remind everybody we're at halftime here at St. Joseph Catholic School for the Richland St. Joe football game. Richland's ahead 14-7. There's about 6 minutes left in the half. And we're here talking with Father Nick Adam, who's the associate pastor out at St. Richard and the vocations director for the Diocese of Jackson.
Yep.
Have you ever did you ever think about when you were considering becoming a priest in Alabama as opposed to Mississippi?
Yeah, that's a good question, because typically you would, most people go with, I guess, the diocese they grew up in. For me, I grew up on the Alabama coast. Went to high school in Florida, actually, because that was the closest Catholic high school. We were right on the line.
Right.
So I go to high school in Florida, so that's 4 years kind of in Pensacola, not in Mobile, in the Archdiocese of Mobile. And then I went to the University of Alabama. That's in the Diocese of Birmingham. So when I moved to Jackson and to Meridian, to the Diocese of Jackson, I really didn't have a Catholic connection other than here. And I got to know the priests, I got to know the people. And so that was a discernment once I got into the seminary. Okay, this is who inspired me to go into the seminary, but now is this who I need to be serving? And you discern that in the seminary. You have 6 to 8 years to kind of sort that stuff out, and so in consultation with the Lord in prayer and with Bishop Latino and Bishop Kopaz, I felt really confident that I'm supposed to be here for whatever reason. God called me here, and
that's a great parish where you came from over in Meridian.
Yeah,
I lived there for 4 years, and I lived here in Jackson for a good bit of my life, and that's where I really came to know Father Frank. And of course, he went to Meridian.
Yeah.
And I had already been in Meridian for about 3 years, and he came the last year I was in Meridian, and it's just something about Father Frank.
Oh yeah.
And
he's just that old Irishman.
Yeah, he's just
he has
really
gravitas to him. As soon as you talk to him, you're like, whoa, this guy's a priest.
Yeah, you've known him for your whole life.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's known you his whole life.
Oh yeah, he's so kind. Yeah. It's funny in Meridian. The best live football game, any level that I've ever seen, was Meridian High, South Panola in the 2008 state championship game in Jackson. Panola, I think, it was like a 91 game winning streak. And Meridian, with Tyler Russell, who went to Mississippi State, started for Dan Mullen for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Then Dak replaced him, actually. Dak got him benched. But Meridian won in overtime. And I just still remember that tackle. South Panola quarterback was rolling out on 4th down, their last shot in overtime, and Jacoby Eason, who I think went to Ole Miss, clipped him on the heel. I mean, barely tapped him. And that was it. And it was just like, it was an unbelievable atmosphere, and unbelievable win. It was so cool. So, and I'll just never forget that. So Meridian holds a special place in my heart, and the parish does too, obviously.
It's not a bad area. I was kind of leery when I lived over there. It was about 2001 to 2005. But, I had a great run there at the Meridian Star. Yeah. Way before I became a teacher at St. Joe.
That's right, yeah. Right down the street from WTOK. Yeah, right across the street.
I think I knew some of the same folks you knew.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But anyway, I see John Baladi is back here in the booth, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to John Baladi in the second half action. Thank you for joining me, Father Nick.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
This was great. Go Bruins.
And I'm going to hand this over to John Baladi.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Mr. Casarino. Let me move up here so you can get out of here. Once again, reminding you, the score is 14-7 at the half. There's about 2 minutes and 43 seconds to kick off. Spirit Steppers doing their dance right now. John Rivnak practicing kicks on the field, which is kind of, not going to lie, it's kind of funny. Practicing kicks and doing some soccer skills with the football while they are doing the dance, just making sure that he's set and ready to go for the second half of play. It's going to be a grudge match the second half, I'm sure, as they will come out and they will kick the ball away to us. So we'll get the ball first to start this second half, possibly being able to go up a score, maybe not go up a score, but to tie them, as it is 14-7. So quick first half recap. The Bruins did all right in their first drive, but did not get a score, I believe. And then the Rangers got their first drive, and they fumbled multiple times, but we did not fall on it. And then we finally did. So they had 3 fumbles on their first drive, if I remember correctly. And then we fell on it, drove down the field, got a quick touchdown, and it's been all Rangers since then. They've been all over it, and they've outscored us 14-0 since then. So just got to get some points on the board to get some momentum back in our direction. Good on the good side, however. Bruins, no cramps. That was better than last week. As last week we had a couple cramps in the second quarter. I mean, playing big schools like this, you'd expect us to get tired very quickly, especially since they have 72 players. I mean, I mentioned that a lot, but I cannot stress that enough, how big of a school that is. Their sideline looks massive compared to ours. As there's a minute left, they're going to add 2 minutes to that clock, so that the teams can come out and warm up a little bit before the start of the second half. With that being said, also a few issues on defense. The Bruins had issues setting the edge as they ran outside, went for the edge a lot of the times, and made it there a lot of the times. So that was just unfortunate. If we could fix those mistakes, though, I don't think we have much of an issue in the second half of play. As long as we fix that, we're good. On offense, however, I mean, yes, we do obviously need to put up more points. Communication needs to be there. Reed Fry is running a streak, it feels like, almost every play. And he's in press coverage, and he's running a streak, and he's a quick dude. I mean, he's fast. He's on the soccer team, and I mean, I've seen him run down players who, I mean, I know I couldn't have, and he's done well with that. So I think if we have him get the ball maybe a little bit more, if we keep having him on those streaks against that same corner who seems to be man-marking him, and then we can, or shadowing him, I guess is the football term. My bad. Man mark is for soccer. But shadowing him on the opposite side of the field every single time, then maybe, just maybe, we can get some good plays out of that. As well as Keegan Helms on the outside. I mean, he's been a good slot receiver so far, but I want to see how he would do on the edge. We haven't gotten the ball in his hands very much at all tonight. I think he's only had 1 touch, and that being the kick return. Beside that, I don't think he's gotten the ball 1 time, and that may be a big factor as to why we're down in this game. Keegan Helms just maybe needs to get the ball in his hands a little bit more, and as soon as we could do that, that would be excellent. Also, I mentioned putting him on the outside. If we switch him with Reed Fry, maybe let Reed Fry play a little bit of slot receiver, put Keegan Helms out there, that would be that could be a good idea. Just to start out, just to see, because we say Reed Fry has been getting him on the streak. If we have Keegan Helms out there, maybe try it. That could be a difference maker, because Keegan is one of the quickest. I'm not gonna say one of the fastest, but he's definitely one of the quickest people I've ever seen. Like to give a comparison, Keelan Harrison, definitely the fastest player I've ever watched, but Keegan Helms seems to just have that quickness in his feet. That Keelan had as well, and that could be a big difference maker, and I want to see him get the ball more so far tonight. So now I'm going to welcome back on Jack Clements, my color analyst. Jack, what do you think the takeaways were from that half?
I mean, John, that was probably the best half of football I've seen the Bruins play yet this season. I thought it was great, and I'm really excited to see this second half. I mean, we are down a touchdown and an extra point, but, you know, I really don't think that's going to make a huge difference. I definitely see the Bruins coming out with a new fire lit under them after talking to Coach Bond and the other coaches in the locker room. And, I mean, they really want to win, and they've been working hard, so I definitely think it's going to pay off right here.
I believe so as well. I was talking a lot about how we just need the communication to be there a little bit better, and how we can try to look for new receivers. We looked for Keegan Helms multiple times and Andrew Stanley multiple times with the ball throughout the first half, but we kind of missed out on possible opportunities with Reed Fry on the outside getting open on his streak routes that he's been running, as well as maybe the potential of moving Keegan out there, because he's been almost silent tonight except for a kickoff return. So, Jack, if you were Coach Bond, what would you change in that offensive approach going into the second half?
One thing that I would definitely try and incorporate a little bit more, and this isn't so much a Coach Bond thing as it is a quarterback, just try and put the ball in Reed Fry's hands and just see what he can do. But another thing that I would definitely look at is, the Richland is setting the edge a little bit better than we are defensively. So I think if we can have some better cutbacks, just get inside of their outside men and just, make big plays up the field. Our running game has looked good. Our passing game has looked good. We have had a couple drop passes, but so far I think it's looked good. I definitely think that, a couple things need to be tweaked here and there, but overall, pretty good.
I think so as well. I like to go deep into the critiques, but at the same time, I think we did well. And as the kickoff return team is going to come out now for the Bruins, back to receive is going to be Kevin May and Keegan Helms. Kevin May had a good half. If I'm Coach Bond, there will be only a few things that I'd be changing to the game plan. Game plan for me, I'd move Reed Fry to the slot receiver, Keegan Helms to the outside receiver, see if that changes anything, as well as switching Keegan Helms to an outside to be a corner and move one of the corners to safety. That way we could set the edge maybe a little bit better. You get a bigger guy who's quick, who can get off blocks very fast to set the edge a little better, as well as I think also we didn't mention him very much. I think getting the ball to Kevin's going to be a big deal. I mean, every time he got the ball, something good happened. So now we're going to kick the ball.
D1 Kev.
Indeed, that's a pooch kick. Now ball's going to bounce. It's going to be picked up by Kevin May. It looked like he expected Steven Rimmer to get it. He just ran right past it, and Kevin May just grabbed it and did the best that he could. As this offense is going to come back out on the field. Brock Morris leading this time. This is the first drive of the second half of play. 11 minutes and 51 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Bruins down 7-14 against the Richland Rangers. Richland lines up once again. Reed Fry is going to be on the outside. Keegan Helms in the slot on the near side. On the far side, we have Sandley on the slot and Wilson on the outside. May in the backfield. It's going to be a triple option now. They're going to hand it to Kevin May up the middle. He fights for more yards. He's breaking through and will get up to the 38-yard line, I believe, is where they'll mark him, and that'll bring us 2nd and 1. I mean, we mentioned getting the ball to Kevin May.
There it was.
But there it was, and he fought for that, and that was I don't know how he did that, but now they will line up. Same formation, pistol formation, twins either side. Ball's on the far hash, sending Sandley in motion, the sign for a triple option, which it is. He pitches it to Sandley. Sandley cuts back, running upfield. First down and more. He finds a hole. He's up at the 50, the 45. Gets tackled down there. And Sandley just planted his foot and was gone.
Excellent run by Andrew. I mean, like you said, he really did. He planted and took off. I mean, he is a versatile player and just an all-around great skill position player.
And just gets the ball in his hands and was gone. Keegan Helms looking very frustrated as he's going to come off the field now. Not sure the reason, as Kevin May will come on at receiver. He's going to take Keegan's spot in the slot. Pistol formation, twins either side. First down and 10, 11 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock. It's a triple option, but they hand it to Joe up the middle. Down at the 44-yard line. That's about if I were to guess, a 4-yard gain. The angle makes it a little awkward to tell. They'll give him a 3-yard gain.
I mean, Joe drove their entire defensive line with him on that play. I mean, he is a great up-the-middle guy, and if he can find any clear grass to run, he is gone.
Very much so. We just got to get the ball in his hands in some open space. We got to see what he can do. He's very much a power running back, power fullback. Keegan Helms back in the game. Twins either side. Pistol formation. Morris receives a snap. Hands it off to Pearson up the middle, who will fight forward and fall forward for about a 4-yard gain. That's a bad spot where they're going to put him. They're going to put him at the 40. Definitely was at the 39. But, third down and 5 now. Maybe about 4 for the Bruins at the 39-yard line. Richland defensive line is definitely looking big right about now. Twins on either side. Pearson still in the backfield, sending Helms in motion. It's a triple option. Pearson trucks a man at the 39, falls forward.
The man barely got him around the legs, and that seems to be how he was brought down.
Joe Pearson put that one on the highlight reel. That was, wow.
Ran right over him.
And this is one of the, I think this is going to be the ones where Coach Bond might call a hard count real quick just to get the defense off guard. 4th down and inches. So have less than a yard to go for the Bruins. Pistol formation, twins on either side. Quarterback Morris awaits the snap, sends Sandley in motion. Will actually snap the ball, and he throws it to Sandley. It's a screen out right, and he somehow finds a way upfield, but can't get a first down. That's going to be a turnover on downs, and Sandley is slow to get up, but no, he's fine. Getting up just fine now, as the Bruins are going to have to go on defense now.
Just inches short of the first down, it looked like.
Very much just inches short. Not sure exactly what the thought process was behind the 4th down attempt. I mean, I think the play call was good. I just want to know what led to that one rather than just a simple hard count and then maybe a pooch punt, try to get it into about within the 10-yard line as the Richland Rangers offense is going to come out. Jack, what's the key to this defensive stand?
You know, just like the analytics from your dad, we've got to set the edge. We cannot let them get outside of us. If we can keep them contained, our guys in the middle can stop them, just force them back in.
And hopefully that's what happens. We still have Wilson and Brandon Taylor on the Caleb Wilson and Brandon Taylor on the outside. They line up shotgun formation. Drops back to throw. He looks left and will be taken down by Christopher Watson and Keegan Helms. A flag is down, though. Got some laundry on the field, and he's going to – Coach Wilson looking very mad. They're going to call face mask on Christopher Watson. What in the world? They're calling a face mask on Christopher Watson. That is – I mean I
didn't see it. I've got the corner of our window blocking my line of sight.
He had his hands around the shoulder pad. No, they pick up the flag. No, they're going to call a face mask. That is crazy to think that, but whatever. I mean, I guess you can call it. It was 1st down and 15, so it's essentially just a 5-yard false start on them. But at the same time, that was 100% a clean tackle from my line of sight, and I saw clearly where his hands were, and they were just around the shoulder pads. Shotgun formation, twins either side, ball's on the near hash, receives the snap, hands it off up the middle. Joe Pearson is there. Keegan Helms also knocks him down. That's number 12 on the carry. I will get you his name in just one moment.
Joe Pearson had him on the legs, and then Keegan Helms came in to hit him high. A great tag team right there.
Team effort.
Team effort. That's what I was looking for.
Okay, I'd also like to point out Christopher Watson has a wrap around his left hand, very much looking like he doesn't have – yeah, he has no mobility in the fingers except for his thumb in his left hand. I'm not sure how you call a face mask on that one, but okay. Yes, that was Christian Benson, the senior running back there on that play. Shotgun formation, twins on either side. No offset fullback here. Receives a snap. It's a screen to the right, and Joe Pearson is there. He gets juked out, and now Kevin May will be there, and he gets the tackle about 5 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's a 3rd down and 7 now. Joe Pearson, unfortunately, on that play just was there, but kind of got tripped up. Not sure if there was a block. Kind of had a few people running the way, so I could not see. But Kevin May, good enough to get that tackle there. 3rd down and 8 now. Bruins awaiting the call from their defensive coordinator, that being Coach Moore. They line up now. 5 defensive backs on the field. Shotgun formation. The ball's on the far hash. They send a man in motion. They fake it to him. They run it up the middle to number 12. Gets slowed down, but then gets tackled by a host of Bruins, that including Christopher Watson, Keegan Helms, and Joe Pearson, who have been names we've called multiple times so far in this drive, in this defensive stand. As now the Bruins will send on the punt team. But I don't think they've punted the ball away yet. They will now. No, they have one time. They're going to send
just once this whole game.
They're going to send the punt team on now. 6 minutes and 55 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter of play. Bruins down 14-7. The punter awaiting the snap. It's a high snap, and he will punt it away. And it's almost blocked by Josh Briscoe. It's a high, wobbly punt. It'll take a Ranger bounce and go out of bounds at the 32-yard line. That was number 19 on the punt, Ethan McMillan, the senior, 6 foot flat and 190 pounds for the Rangers. So now the Bruins have a chance to maybe get some momentum in their direction as they got a good defensive stop there and now have the ball.
That's true. This is a prime opportunity for the Bruins.
And just got to see what they're going to do. As Brock Morris been playing quarterback all throughout the night, I wonder if they're going to try out Keegan Helms for a drive just to see if we can get a quicker pace going, as he has not gotten the ball in his hands very much. Kevin May in at running back, pistol formation, twins either side. Helms sends Stanley in motion. That's the sign of a triple option as they hand it off up the middle to Kevin May, who fights forward for a first down and more. Face mask, and he is gone. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Gets tackled down, somehow caught from behind at the 15-yard line. Kevin May fighting through so many tacklers and a face mask and made it all the way to the 15-yard line.
John, from what I saw, look, he broke 3 tackles on that play, and the Richland defender leapt off his feet to just barely get a hand on his shoulder pads.
Hoped to get a hand on his shoulder pads, and as he fell, just tried to grab the legs. That's a good play by the Richland defender. But Kevin May, that's a great play by him as well. Twins on either side. They send Stanley in motion. Triple option coming. Joe Pearson up the middle. Gets a couple yards up to the 10-yard line. Also, they're at the 15-yard line, which essentially, I don't know if I'm on a completely different level of thinking than everyone else, but to me, that just I think of it as first down out of 8 downs for first and goal. Because once you get to the 5-yard line, you get a whole new set, and you're already within the 10. Pistol formation, twins on either side. They send Stanley in motion, triple option coming. Joe Pearson up the middle. He fights his way down to the 1-yard line. Pearson and May have definitely been a good dual threat backfield and have been working hard throughout the night. First down and goal they'll mark him at the 2. Kevin May coming into the field.
John, honestly, right here, I expect another up-the-middle run from one of these two guys.
I'm not sure about that. Kevin May is not one to run up the middle, as even though that big run was a run up the middle. Pistol formation, twins either side. Morris awaits the snap. He sends Stanley in motion. Triple option coming. He hands it to May. Nowhere to go. Trying to get up. He's fighting his hardest but cannot get there. Forward progress should put him at the line of scrimmage. Second down and 2 to go for the touchdown.
John, that was a great effort. It took many of the Richland defenders to bring down Kevin May, who was attempting to go up the middle but just could not find a hole.
If we're going to throw it here, I'm not sure that we would, but, it's a possibility. I would definitely just try a quick slant to try to get it in. Pistol formation now, 4 minutes, 39 seconds left in this third quarter. Twins on either side. Morris awaiting the snap, sends Stanley in motion again. Triple option again. Tries to run it up himself, and he will, down to the 1-yard line. Not quite in. This is when Joe Pearson's full house set would work out beautifully, I believe, as a timeout will be called by the Bruins.
First time out of the half. The score is Bruins 7, Richland 14.
Indeed. So kind of just reading off the scoreboard, just had to say guest in there, but no. So this is what we needed. This is the spark of momentum. As we mentioned, Kevin May, playmaker so far tonight. I think he could be given our offensive player of the game at the end, as we're going to start up doing those again, as we forgot the first 2 games. But
we did. I noticed that, but I noticed it after the fact, after we had signed off, so it was a little too late.
But he's probably got over 100 yards rushing, a good amount of yards receiving, I'm sure, and he's had an excellent job so far tonight, and hoping that we could punch this one in on this third down. And I know that Coach Bond is going to go for it if we don't get it. So, and you can call that an announcer jinx, but I'm perfectly fine with that. If it comes down to fourth down, it's really a toss-up if you're going to go for it or not. But I think that here we go. So Brock Morris under center, single back formation, twins either side. He tries a quarterback sneak it in, and he is touchdown Bruins. The Bruins will be down 13-14 now with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in this third quarter of play. John Rivnack's going to come on the field to try to tie this one up. A great play by Morris, a great drive by the Bruins to take control of this second half of play. Hopefully get a quick lead up to go in for the rest of the game.
I hope to see this as an indicator for the rest of the game.
I do as well. A botched snap and a good hold will send a good extra point attempt through the uprights. So, yeah, they were kind of trying to send everyone at that extra point. John Rivnack just managed to get it through. That drive was good. Not a lot of passing.
Not a lot of passing at all, but some great run plays, and that'll bring up 14-14 with 4:10 left in the third.
And I don't think we passed the ball one time, but that got us a a touchdown. Triple option was run maybe 15 times, it felt like, as this defensive line is going to come on the field. I wanted to talk about that too with you, Jack. So something that I mentioned in an earlier game was that NFL wide receivers will oftentimes in their like off time when they're not practicing will run drills for defensive ends and outside linebackers in 3-4 schemes, because the hand motions you use in press coverage are extremely similar to defensive end motions that you'd be running on just plays like that. They have as an end-over-end kick, he's going to run it from the 1 yard line, get hit multiple times, and he will get taken down by a host of Bruins at the 25-yard line. They might have a hurt player down, it almost looked like. A guy was rolling on the ground. I hope he is all right. He is down. They're going to send the trainers on. No, he's gonna come off. So always a good thing to see, walking off under his own power. But no, yeah, wide receivers will use defensive line drills, defensive end drills, and that's how they kind of practice, which is interesting because Christopher Watson, one of our wide receivers, is playing defensive end tonight.
That is interesting. I did not know that. I was not aware that they did that. You learn something new every day.
And Doug Baldwin was one of the first people who actually introduced it, I think. I'm not sure, but he was one of the newer guys who said, like, hey, this is something I do, this is something you could do, and it's been working out. Shotgun formation, they're sending a man in motion. They're going to fake that end around, hand it up the middle to number 48, and he will get tackled down after about a 3-yard gain. A good stop by the Bruins. Christopher Watson coming out of there celebrating a little bit, I think. So might have gotten in on that tackle in that play. William Turner's been doing very well tonight. I think that, he's playing nose guard, so he has gotten a couple stops up the middle, but they have really been bouncing it outside a lot, meaning he's probably shedding his blocker off immediately. So doing a good job of just keeping contained.
He is doing a great job. He's another one of the guys they're very athletic and, very versatile. As you can see, he can go from playing lineman to playing receiver.
He very much can. That of all position combinations, that's probably the weirdest thing you see. Wide receiver, nose guard.
You don't see that often.
You do not, but somehow he managed to make it work, and so far it's been working tonight, and I'm really impressed. As the ball will be set on the far hash, 2nd down and 7. I believe that was a timeout called, as they will come out shotgun formation. They've abandoned their I formation. Twins on either side. Bruins switching around, showing blitz. They drop back to pass, throws right. It is up. The man is open, but it is out of bounds. So I believe Caleb Wilson may have just expected a run play. Reed Fry was over top to support. But fortunately, it was a throw out of bounds. 3rd down and 7 now.
That's right. They're definitely expecting that run, which, after seeing how many times they run around the outside, especially in the last half on their last drive of the half, I'd be expecting the run too.
I would. I can't blame them, but that's why we run cover 2 or cover 1 on that play, I believe. Just Reed Fry being back there, but now they're showing blitz. Everyone in the box. Only 4 defensive backs, but no safeties as they run up the middle, quarterback draw, and he gets tripped up, and the ball is out, and the Bruins fall on it. That is Bruin football. I'm waiting the signal for the referees. Awaiting the call. 4th down. They call him down. I disagree with the call, but
I definitely think that was Bruin football.
we could watch film, see what happens. I mean, if there was a fumble last week that we got that they called him down, and it was actually the right call. So they're going to go for it. 4th down and 1.
Having instant replay would be
Would
amazing.
be so nice, but it's no big deal. So in Texas, I think they do actually for high school, which is crazy. So now Bruins showing blitz again. They show twins either side, shotgun formation. Oh, false start by their offensive lineman. That'll make it 4th down and 7. Christopher Watson freaking out. I believe that was one of the defensive line shifts that got him off sides. That is legal as long as you don't hop into the neutral zone. They're going to send the punt team out. A great play by your Bruin defense.
Excellent. I mean, they didn't have to, go through a play. They just did that little shift at the line, and it was enough to throw off that offensive lineman and back them up 5. Excellent play.
That kills a drive, and that's going to give momentum to the Bruins as Kevin May is the lone man back to receive the punt. Is almost blocked, so you're going to have a roughing the kicker call, and Keegan Helms is just going to pick it up and run for it. He's got the ball on the right side. He's got the corner to the 20, 15, tries to cut in, and he does to the 10, down to the 8-yard line. A flag is down. Josh Briscoe hurt the punter.
I mean, Keegan Helms, the ball bounced. He was facing the other end zone, picked it up, turned around, and ran.
Unfortunately, Josh Briscoe went for the block, kind of grazed the shoulder of the punter. He's on the ground. I don't want to ever say somebody's faking an injury, but, it's possible. From my angle, it just looked like he grazed his shoulder. May have hit him a little bit harder. He fell to the ground. Flag was thrown. That's going to be a 1st down Rangers. If it's the same as the NFL rule. I'm not sure. So waiting the call from the referee. They might wave it off. No, personal foul, roughing the kicker on the Bruins. That's going to be I'm not sure.
I can't tell.
It may be like from the spot of the foul. I've never seen it called in high school football. So the offensive line is out there for the Bruins. Brock Morris is not, but Wyatt. And I'm just waiting for the call. No, that's going to be a 1st down for the Richland Rangers. So that's a 15-yard spot foul. He gave the signal twice. I'm not sure why, but also giving another signal. I'm not sure what for that one. Just kind of pushed towards the sideline almost. As they line up 1st down now. An unfortunate turn of events for the Bruins. Just a miscue. Maybe they can just get the ball back really fast here. Again, shotgun formation. Twins on the near side. I believe only one on the far side. They send a man in super late to make it twins on the far side. Not sure that's legal, but they send him in. It's an option. They pitch it out right. He's going to run right and gets decked by Joe Pearson. Dives the legs, launches him to the ground.
I mean, he was uprooted at the line of scrimmage from what I could see. Excellent play by Joe. Great stop.
Indeed, a great stop. As they're now going to go down, I believe Joe Pearson may have knocked the wind out of him, hit him in between like the legs and the lower rib area. And if he hit towards the lower rib area, that's definitely the wind getting knocked out of him. But hopefully that is all it is and nothing more. 2nd down now, and 10 it will be. He's down on the field. We have Mr. Matt Weisenberger just talking to him. Hopefully this is not a long break, but we will await to see what the call, not what the call is, just what happens. So, while we can, we're just gonna fill time here for now. So Richland has a 72-man roster. That is huge. That is a very big roster.
I mean, their sideline is just packed. It is a massive team.
It very much is. They have played St. Andrews so far and the New Orleans Homeschool Saints. St. Andrews, I believe they beat. I'm trying to get Max Preps up real quick so I can see how bad that game was for the St. Andrews Saints, as we will play them next week on Friday the 13th. A little warning, in case we don't get a spot in the box at St. Andrews and it were to rain, we will unfortunately not be able to bring you that game. As he gets up now, hobbles off the field under his own power with a little bit of help, but good to see. As I was saying, if St. Andrews in the past years we've broadcasted from the top of the press box, if that happens again this year and it just so happens to rain, I'm not sure how we'll be able to bring the game to you. We will do our best, but we'll just have to see. I'm looking forward to an interesting matchup as St. Andrews, always a big rivalry game. We haven't lost to them in my high school career. Knock on wood real quick, and hopefully it stays the same next week. Shotgun formation now, 2nd down and 10. Bruins showing blitz. No deep safeties. Twins on either side. They drop back. Looks right. Throws right. He's wide open down the sideline, and he drops it.
Right through his hands.
I don't know. It's rare to say that like you were given a blessing by the other team.
That was a blessing. That was a blessing.
Because if he caught that, he's gone.
There was no one around him. He was wide open.
He had at least 3 yards of separation in every single direction.
Just let it slide through his hands. That's got to be a frustrating play.
It really does. He tried to. It was perfect. I cannot stress this enough. Perfectly placed by the quarterback. Hit him right in the breadbasket, but he tried to catch it in with his body and could not get it. They come out same formation. They send a man to the other side. Receives the snap. Rolls right. Looking to throw. Throws in the flat. It is caught by number 42, who goes forward and is tackled down. Gets a first down before he goes down. That'll be a 1st down and 10 for the Richland Rangers. 1 minute and 21 seconds left to go in this 3rd quarter of play. Bruins tied with the Richland Rangers 14-14. We mentioned now offensive line for the Bruins now on the 2 big men for the offensive line for the Bruins. Number 75, Wyatt Davis. Number 54, Jaden Coleman, playing defense now. This is the first drive all game where I've seen them go in like that. Christopher Watson, who's been playing defensive end along with Josh Briscoe, is on the sideline. Josh Briscoe is now playing middle linebacker, one of the 2 with Joe Pearson. Shotgun formation, twins either side. William Turner moving around in that defensive line spot as they drop back to pass, is pressured and will throw over the middle. Tackled down by Reed Fry. A good catch by the Richland Rangers. A good tackle by Fry.
That was interesting to me to see that the two big linemen were in and William Turner still in at nose guard. And when I saw the other 2 guys come on the field, I have expected Sam Harrison, the center, to be there at nose guard.
Well, William Turner's still moving around like a spider monkey.
He honestly is. He's on all fours, just kind of shimmying back and forth.
And he's been doing that all night. They come out, same formation again. Bruins show blitz, and they bring it. They're in the backfield. Reed Fry is there along with multiple others. He gets the corner, though, and gets a couple yards. Unfortunate for the Bruins. Wyatt Davis looking for a holding call. Not going to get it.
Got 15 minutes left in the 3rd quarter of play. Once again, the score is tied up at 14-14.
As Mr. Matt Weisenberger still, it appears to be looking at that player over there, but he seems to be getting better, which is always a good thing to see. That's the end of the 3rd quarter now, tied 14-14. 1 quarter is going to come down to the end here to see what's going to happen. As Jack, key to the 4th quarter, go.
I don't know. It's kind of been a back and forth game. Really, it's just going to come down to it's going to come down to capitalization on miscues and just securing that outside edge.
And I believe I agree, but I also agree. I also think that put the ball. Coach Bond stresses this a lot. Put the ball in your playmakers' hands, and that's all that I think we should do. Put the ball in Kevin's hands, put the ball in Joe's hands, and put it in Keegan's hands. Throw Andrew in there a little bit as well, and if we can get a wide open pass downfield due to that press coverage, we need to, and that is what is going to lead us to victory, I believe, as we will switch sides for the last time tonight. Now we will be defending the north end zone. The Richland Rangers traveling all the way from Highway 49, right around Highway 49, I believe. Am I wrong?
I think you're right. Yeah. That's it.
You looked at me all weird. I was like, oh, no,
because at first I thought you said Ridgeland, because in my head I keep trying to say Ridgeland, but it's Richland. But, yes, that is right near 49.
They could at least spread out the cities a little more if they're going to be that similar in names. But, it's whatever. As now it is shotgun formation once again. William Turner moving like a spider monkey, and they get him off. They get him to false start there. And I'm surprised. That was a really late reaction, but
that was extremely late. William had already moved and got reset, and then they jumped. But hey, whatever works. If it works, it works.
If one of my favorite quotes, if it's stupid but it works, then it ain't stupid. And William just somehow, for like the second time or third time tonight, has gotten them to jump for a false start.
Did you make that up?
I think I heard it somewhere. As they hand it off now. No, they faked the handoff. They actually hand it off, and now he's going up the right side. Flag is down. That's going to be a holding on that wide receiver, number 42. Play will be brought back. That'll be 10 yards from the spot. If the spot is where the flag is now, it'll be a 2nd and 13 that they'll have to deal with. William Turner, though, if we want to talk about him, we could honestly, I'm not even sure his stats. I think we could have him up there as defensive player of the game. Like, he's been working so hard on every single drive, and he's gotten him offsides multiple times, and it's helped out a lot. Alongside Joe Pearson and Keegan Helms, who have gotten a lot of tackles tonight and been closing down. Excuse me. We just gotta work harder for 12 more minutes. That's all it is, just 12 more minutes of play. They come out now. Same formation again. They've been running it all night. Four receivers on the field. Twins either side. They receives the snap. Fakes the screen. Just going to try to run. Runs into his running back. William Turner brings him down. An excellent play by Turner. Antonio Handy falls on the ball, but they're going to say he's down. No argument there by the Bruins. So believe that he was down.
I mean, great tackle right there by William Turner. And John, you never know. He could be our defensive player of the game.
I mean,
just his little spider monkey maneuver definitely gets him some points towards that.
As well as, that he got a big hit earlier in the game, and that tackle there, that's huge. 3rd down and 15. Now for the Richland Rangers. Their punter, number 19, is back in the game. So luckily he was not hurt very badly, as that will be a timeout. Richland, now we will have 2 timeouts for both teams going into the rest of this 4th quarter. Things that we could take away from this game are obviously William Turner did well at nose guard. You got to put the ball in Kevin May's hands a good amount. He's been doing quite well, and every time he's gotten the ball, something good has happened. And also, well, continue, Jack. What were you going to say?
And one thing that I'm definitely going to be talking to Sam Harrison and Jaden and Wyatt about is if them not playing defensive line as well really helped. I mean, from what I've seen on the O-line, it has definitely made some difference, but I would like to hear from the players' perspective, since that is new this game.
And I really wanted to see this because, as soon as I heard, wide receivers sometimes do defensive end drills, I want to see one do it in a game. And seeing Christopher Watson do that in this game, it was impressive, and I think that's something that we could try out for the rest of the season. Some of our underused wide receivers could go in at that defensive end spot and try to get them down, as the defense is looking very hyped up. Wyatt Davis especially doing a little bit of dancing, it seems, as they will line up now. Shotgun formation. Twins on the far side, one receiver near side. They only have 10 men on the field. A bad snap. The ball is on the ground. Quarterback's running left. Antonio Handy is there trying to bring him down, as well as multiple other Bruins. Joe Pearson gets there. That's going to bring up 4th down and 17 as a man is down. I believe that might be the center. Wyatt Davis, Caleb Wilson kind of checking him out, seeing if he's all right. He gets up. Just a little slow on that one. But he is walking off the field under his own power. Good to see.
A little bit of a stagger in his walk, but it seems like he should be okay.
You think they'll try about, from here it'd be about a 53-yard field goal. You think they can get it?
No, I don't think that's something that they're going to try, especially not at the high school level.
We tried a 59-yarder last year. It was a bit far-fetched to try it, but we did.
We did, but see, that doesn't happen often.
Just very rare to see. They come out punt with their special teams group. We're not going to send that many people after the punt. It is a wobbly punt. It's going to bounce. Oh, Kevin May pushes a man off of it, picks up the ball, and runs up forward and gets to the 14-yard line. That was I didn't know that.
I just saw him push him, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and then he grabbed the ball.
So the ball rolled to the 7-yard line. They were about to call it down. Down it, and then Kevin May just was like, you know what? This is too close to the end zone. So he pushes the man who's about to down it off the ball, grabs it, and runs for another 7 yards. That's funny. No, I mean,
that was
that's
great.
just funny.
I don't know. That was a cool play.
It's just funny. I mean, they're going to come out now. Helms and Fry, the tandem on the right, they've had it all night tonight. They're going to send Helms in motion, receives the snap, fakes the handoff. No, he fumbles the ball. Richland almost falls on it. Keegan Helms loses it. Who has it? That is Bruin football. Bounced around way too much. Keegan Helms tried to get it, tried to corral it and run with it, but couldn't get it, and he ended up falling on it in the end. But we lost about half the yards we had. That'll put us down at about the 5-yard line. Keegan Helms ran in from the wrong side, I believe, but Andrew Stanley just let him because, I mean, you can't have 2-minute motion at once. So he tried to run in and then run back out for the option. Brock Morris sold the fake a little too well. Kevin May thought he had it, and that's what brought the fumble to happen. Pistol formation, twins either side. Andrew Stanley comes in. That's a sign for a triple option, but it's not. It's a slant to Keegan Helms, and he's got it at the 12-yard line. That makes it about a 3rd down and 13. If the Bruins can get this would put us in a great spot. We don't want to have to punt out of our own end zone.
Definitely not, John. We've definitely got to try and get it, up to a 1st down here.
And hopefully that's what we can do. Definitely a passing situation. We haven't had many of these tonight. Reed Fry is no longer in press coverage. Actually, no. This play, it appears he'll be in press coverage. He's been open tonight on these streak routes. Cornerback's going to drop off. Pistol, twins on either side, receives the snap, drops back to pass, rolls right, looking right, throws to Reed Fry, who cannot corral it. It was shotgun formation. Kevin May was open in the check down, could not find him there.
That pass, I really thought that he had it for a second.
As John Rivnak comes on the field to punt this one away. Now, in soccer, when we played St. Andrews one game, he had to play goalie. And when he played goalie, he had a punt, one in particular that went, if I were to guess, he kicked it from the top of the 18, which is the 8-yard line, and it probably bounced at about the 40 and bounced all the way to the 20. So that's a soccer ball, so that's a different situation, but we'll see what he can do as he punts it, and it's going to bounce and it's going to be caught at the Bruin 43. Josh Briscoe is there trying to get the ball out, and he does, and the Bruins fall on it. Christopher Watson gets the ball. The Bruins will have the ball at the 42-yard line. Josh Briscoe and Christopher Watson coming up with a big play to get the Bruins the ball back.
Excellent play by Josh Briscoe. Wasn't even trying necessarily to get the man to the ground. Wrapped him up and ripped the ball out and put it, right at the feet of Christopher Watson.
I mean, when he ran in, he threw a hand in and he hit the ball, and I guess immediately he realized, okay, this ball is not secure. I'm just going to run in and try to rip it out. So from behind, he runs forward, just grabbed the ball, the nose of it, and pulled it out. Christopher Watson just fell on it. A great play by Bruins special teams. That gets us about 40 yards or 35 yards up the field. Pistol formation now. Twins either side. May is the running back behind Morris. They send Pearson in motion. The play is going to be whistled dead. Timeout is called. Waiting on who it's called, but they're going to call false start on the Bruins. My bad. They gave the signal for a timeout at first. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's the same call, actually. I just didn't see a flag get thrown.
Yeah, there's a little laundry on the field in the defensive backfield.
A little laundry in the spot of the defensive O-line position. Defensive O-line, I really just said that. Defensive line spot. Pistol formation. May is the running back. They're gonna send Stanley in motion, and they do. They're gonna hand it off to Kevin May up the middle. He cuts upfield, gonna get back those yards that we lost, and a little bit more. Bring up a 2nd and 5, a 10-yard run for May. If I were to guess, he's averaging probably 8 yards a carry.
That'd be my guess as well, John. I mean, he is an explosive runner. You put the ball in his hands, and he is going somewhere.
And he has been so far tonight. Got about if I were to guess, like a 60-yard run and multiple others, and they're going to bring it back again. Let me listen in real quick to see what that call is. Awaiting the PA announcer, Joe Lee, to announce that so I can actually know what call it is. But he kind of got his hands up against his chest and pushed out. I don't know what that is. That might be a chop block. Jack, what did you see?
John, I'm thinking, just the length of the penalty. It had to be a chop block or a personal foul. I'm not entirely sure, but we are now at. The people who run the PA system don't know either. Kevin May gets the ball. He cuts out left. He's looking for somewhere to run, and he does. He gets up to the 39-yard line. That is now
Another 10-yard run. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 11. Wow. They're almost in. That's an interesting spot. It looked like he hit the 40 from here. They mark him at the 39. Shotgun formation, Twins either side. Bruins running hurry up. 7.5 minutes left in this game. They hand it to May on the right side sweep. He's looking for the corner. He cuts upfield, and he gets a 1st down and more. Down to the 45-yard line of the Richland Rangers. 14-14, 7 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in this game.
Almost a 15-yard carry for May on that one.
And a great play. Bruins slowing down the hurry-up offense now. Going to go back into the huddle and see what they can do. Sandley has not gotten the ball much the second half. Helms has not gotten the ball much this game. Maybe trying to get the ball in their hands now. Pearson in the backfield now. Shotgun formation. Twins either side. They hand it to him. He runs upfield. Fights forward for 6 yards. Wow.
Excellent. Excellent run.
Joe Pearson just finds a way to find a hole, and then no matter who's in his way, he's going to fall forward with them.
It doesn't really matter if there's a hole or not, John. I mean, a lot of times
finds a way.
he can make a hole.
St. Andrews last year, the game against them, he had a fullback dive up the middle, and he just spun out and ran for the end zone, and there was no hole ever. Trips near side, one far side. Shotgun formation. Morris awaits the snap. Hands it off to Pearson up the middle. He's going to go and find some contact. Fights upfield to the 35-yard line. That's almost a 1st down. They might give it to him, and they will.
Give it to him. I mean, John, he met contact and then drove for 3 to 4 extra yards after that. He is a very, very powerful runner.
We needed somebody to check out those yards after catch from this game, to check the highlights and count that. That would be nice, but I mean yards after contact. My bad. Excuse me. Shotgun formation. Twins either side. Ball is almost at the near hash. Receives a snap. Hands it off to Pearson up the middle. He's going to bounce it right. Fights forward. Hits the back of his lineman Wyatt Davis and will get as many yards as he can. But unfortunately, it only appears to be 3. As the Bruins gonna have to deal with a timeout, referee timeout on that play. And so now 6 minutes 4 seconds, 14-14 all.
2 timeouts each team.
Got half of a quarter to decide this game. If the Bruins get points on the board, that's a huge bit of momentum, because not only is Richland down in terms of their momentum is down and our momentum is up, they haven't had any success so far this half. We're up 7-0 so far this half, and we've been doing a good job on offense in this drive. You're listening to Bruin Sports Radio live on the World Wide Web and WJXC Jackson, Mississippi Catholic Radio, 107.9 FM. And so now, timeout's going to end. 6 minutes, 4 seconds left to go in this game. Jack, what do you think the game plan is for this last little bit of the drive?
You know, John, I think the game plan as it is with every drive is to take it to the house and put 6 more up on the board. And I think the way they do that is have a couple quick passes and some more hard runs by Kevin May and Joe Pearson.
As we line up now, shotgun formation, Twins either side. Sandley's going to go in motion. It's a triple option. They hand it to May. He bounces it outside, gets just tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Not much he could do about that one.
Right. I mean, there's nothing he could do about that one. And he's a little slow to get up, hobbling a little bit, favoring his right knee.
And, I mean, it looks okay, but we're going to see. He's going to try to walk off on his own. He gets a little bit of help from Josh Briscoe, and he will walk off now. Not sure what happened on that play. Just got tackled by the legs. He's just going to go down. Mr. Matt Weisenberger and his athletic trainers will help out with that. I'm sure that he is. I hope that he's okay. We just got to check that out. I'll see if I can get a message from Bailey Miller, who is taking pictures down there, seeing if she knows what happened. Twins either side, pistol formation. 3rd down and 11 for the Bruins. Sandley goes in motion. He hands it off to Joe Pearson up the middle, and he will go for a 1st down and more up to the 22-yard line. Joe Pearson and Kevin May looking like Reggie Bush and Lindell White of the USC Trojans way back in their dynasty.
They are looking great. Just a double threat to this Rangers defense. Still try to call them the Raiders. I mean, just amazing runs, hard runs, and there's another player down on the field.
And he's in pain, and I hope that it's his shoulder. He's favoring his right shoulder. I'm going to try to get word on that from down on the field real quickly. Jack, what did you see on that play?
I mean, John, excellent run by Joe Pearson. He runs downhill. He always falls forward, which is something that, any good running back will do, try and sneak in that extra yard or half a yard. And then, another thing you've got to look at is he had great blocking there and was just able to just get downfield. And, Mr. Matt Weisenberger and some of the athletic training staff as well as the Richland coaches are surrounding this player. He is definitely gripping his shoulder. They're attempting to help him. He is sitting up now. John Baladi is trying to get word from a sideline source as to what the injury is, as well as the injury with Kevin May, who is now up and standing and appeared to be doing a couple stretches down on the sideline, just walking around trying to loosen up. I believe with Kevin it was a knee issue, but it seems like he's walked it off. Mr. Matt is walking to the sidelines now.
All right, so I was just on the phone with Bailey Miller down on the sideline getting some word from her. We appreciate that. Kevin May rolled his ankle. He's fine. He's walking off. The player for Richland, they're checking him for a collarbone injury, and I really hope that's not the case because those are awful. They're genuinely terrible to deal with, and I would never wish that injury upon anyone. It is so terrible to deal with. So
John,
I'm hoping he's just fine.
I actually know a player from Benton Academy got hit in the collarbone, and now his collarbone has a little mountain because they could never quite get it reset. So collarbone injuries are definitely one of the worst.
I actually got hit. My shoulder pads weren't. I'll explain that story in a minute. Pistol formation, twins either side.
Wait.
They send Keegan Helms in motion, but they're going to call a timeout. Timeout. No, they're going to call encroachment on the defense. As I was saying, when I was playing at St. Anthony, my shoulder pads actually were they're like the smallest size, but I was so tiny that there was a little bit of movement, so my helmet would kind of go down and occasionally hit my collarbone. Now on both of them, I have that little soft spot there. But no, I mean, that's not a fun injury to deal with. I'm really hoping that he's okay and it's nothing big. First down now in the red zone. 1st and 5. Pistol formation, twins either side. Sandley goes in motion. That's the sign for a triple option, and it is. Joe Pearson gets the ball up the middle. He fights forward for a first down and more. Down to the 5-yard line.
And he drug 2 defenders with him for those last couple of yards.
4 minutes and 22 seconds left to go. 14-14. Bruins have had a good and a long drive now. Just got to keep it up. 4 yards to go. First down and goal. Bruins line up now. They need this touchdown more than ever. Clock is running. 20 seconds on the play clock. It's about to get to 4 minutes left in this game. Shotgun formation. Twins either side. Quarterback Morris is awaiting the snap. He receives it. Hands it off to Joe Pearson up the middle, who fights forward into the end zone.
They're saying touchdown.
Touchdown, Bruins. That'll bring the score 20-14. Bruins take control of this second half, up 14-0 in it, up 13-0 in it. Now take the lead back from the Richland Rangers, who have had it for almost the entire game. Joe Pearson, Kevin May, the dual threat running back core on this offense, took over that drive. Josh Briscoe and Christopher Watson helped out as well with that fumble on the punt. And just a great play. Now John Rivnack's got to kick this extra point to make sure that we have a 7-point lead. They're sending everyone after it. Stanley has the snap down. The hold is good. The kick is up and good. And now the Bruins are up 21-14. 4 minutes and 2 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter of play. Maybe a drive for the Richland Rangers. They have 2 timeouts. That could be their downfall.
It sure could. I mean, if we can get a hard stop on the defense and then just take time off the clock little by little, I mean, this game is shaping up to be some of the best football that I've seen the Bruins play all season.
It very much has. They've been very impressive. I'm trying to see. I just wanted to check real quick. what classification Richland is, because if we would beat a 4A team, that would be a big a big win for the Bruins. I'll have to check on that later, but no, that so far in the second half, Bruins have been killing it. They have not given Richland any chance to do anything, and I mean, capitalizing on on miscues on punts and punt returns. You don't see that.
That does not happen.
And somehow we managed to have it happen. Josh Briscoe just threw in a hand and was like, all right, now we just got to get the ball. Threw in a hand. It was like, oh, it's not secure. Let me get it out. And he gets it out, and Christopher Watson just so happens to be there with a hand wrapped where he can't get the ball, so he just falls on it. Perfect. I mean, that's just great play. As Rivnak will put a right boot into this ball. It's a high end-over-end kick at about the 3-yard line. It will be returned. He's running up the middle, trying to find a hole, and he does. Up to the left, back up to the middle, up to the 35-yard line. Tackled down there at the 38. That is where Richland will start. 3 minutes and 54 seconds left to go in this game. They have good field position to start. Jack, what is the key to winning this game and winning this drive?
Stopping them on the defense. And just, securing the outside edge, not letting them get around the defense. And then, when we get the ball back on offense, just burn time, running up the middle, have some more good runs with Joe Pearson and Kevin May, just to put that nail in the coffin.
Hoping we can do that on this drive. Turnover would be huge, as well as a couple other things. Wyatt Davis being mirrored by Christopher Watson at defensive end on the other side. Spider Monkey William Turner in there. Shotgun formation. Trips on the far side, one on the near side. He drops back to pass, looking to throw. Antonio Handy is back there, and he gets the sack. That'll bring up 2nd down and 15.
Excellent job by Antonio Handy. Great job being back there, just getting the sack on the play. That's going to push Richland back another 5 yards, giving them even further to go to get that first down.
I'm not sure where he came from. He's a slot corner, and he's been up against their slot receiver on the near side all night. They didn't have one on that play, so he just ran in hoping for the best, and he got it on a delayed blitz. Shotgun formation, twins either side. The quarterback receives the snap, drops back to pass. It's a screen play. He throws it up, and somehow it's caught by number 12. He breaks a few tackles and is up to the 45-yard line. He cuts back. Caleb Wilson gets him down at the 45-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4, and he's down. That's Christian Benson, number 12 for Richland. He is down. Got a big hit from Caleb Wilson.
Caleb Wilson, who really just full body dove at him.
It just appears that he got the wind knocked out of him from my angle, and so that's what I'm hoping it is, but he is down and he looks like he's in pain, and I don't want any players to be seriously injured tonight, so he has not moved since he's been tackled. He's like
face down too.
He's very slow rolling over. I wonder what the issue is. I'll try to get down to Bailey Miller to see what the issue is. Jack, did you see anything there? And even going forward, it's 3rd down and 1. What do you call and what do you expect to see from the Bruins? If you were the coach, what would you call and what would you expect to see from Coach Bond and his defense and Coach Moore's defense going into this?
John, right here, honestly, if I was the coach, I'm looking for a hard blitz. Just get in the backfield again, get another big sack, disrupt the backfield, put pressure on him if he's trying to pass, and then stop the run before it really starts. That's what I'm looking for. You get William Turner doing the spider monkey, maybe distract him a little bit, and then have all the backs just blitz. Just blitz in there. But he is number 12 for the Richland Rangers is up now, and he is seeming to limp off the field with the help of one of the coaches. Not entirely sure what the injury is, but John is finding out for us.
Bailey Miller told me that they believe he just kind of tweaked his knee falling down, that he's walking off under his own power, so that's a good thing. And our trainer, Mr. Matt Weisenberger, coming back to our sideline. So now we will line up. 2 minutes and 55 seconds left to go. Clock is running. Shotgun formation. Twins either side. 3rd and 1. They send a man in motion. He receives the snap. It's a quarterback draw off the middle. Bruins fighting to stop him. He gets a 1st down at the 50. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left now. Wingate on that run, the quarterback. Clock will stop due to a 1st down for them to move the chains. As soon as they set them, the clock is now starting. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left. Bruins up a touchdown. Coach Moore getting the signal into his defense. Brock Morris playing safety. He's going to be the lone safety on this play. Shotgun formation. Bruins showing blitz. No deep safeties. Twins on either side. Running back lines up, moves from the left to the right side of his quarterback. He drops back to pass. Throws over the middle. He's got a wide open receiver who gets destroyed by Caleb Wilson. A big hit. Both players looking hyped up after that one. But Bruins just gave up about 20 yards. You don't want to get all hyped up after that.
A great catch, but, I mean, they are celebrating the great hit laid on him even after he caught the ball.
I mean, he let him get it, but got him down as quick as he could. Kevin May getting his ankle wrapped on the sideline now if we need him to go back in. 2 minutes, 10 seconds left. Clock is ticking. They're at the 30-yard line. Shotgun formation. Twins either side. Wingate sends a man in motion. He receives the snap. Drops back to pass. He's looking left. Gets pressured from Joe Pearson. A flag is down. Joe Pearson is chasing him down. He runs to the left. Goes out of bounds after he gets a first down. But he's just wasting time. 1 minute and 53 seconds. It's going to be a holding. Will be brought back about 10 yards.
Excellent play by Joe Pearson, just tracking him down, hunting him down, and eventually getting there.
Something I've noticed for the Bruins tonight, and I didn't think about it until just now, also holding on Richland, that'll bring him back 10 yards, is that the Bruins had an issue with cramps last week, and nobody has cramped up tonight, and that's probably one of the biggest factors.
They must have drank the Gatorade pickle juice cocktail you were talking about in the pregame show.
I don't even know if that's a thing, but Bailey Miller just said you got to put pickle juice, you got to put it in the Gatorade, and it works. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I don't know if she was joking, but it seems to work. As players are doing all right, and we've been keeping our offensive line off the field when our defense is out there, which has worked out really well. As they line up now, shotgun formation, trips on the near side, one on the far side. We have a receiver open by himself on the near side, receives a snap, he looks right, he throws right, a wide open receiver, and he will catch it at the 20, run down to the 15, 1 minute and 45 seconds now. Clock will stop at 1 minute and 44. Richland Rangers driving. And they'll run hurry-up offense now. Got to spot the ball.
On the tackle, he was brought down, literally being dragged down from his pants there by a Bruin defender.
And unfortunately, just could not. Unfortunately, we did not move a cornerback over, so having trips on one side kind of led to our downfall on that play. Shotgun formation, Twins on either side. They move a man in motion. They give the ball to him on the end around left. He cuts up field to the 10. Get tackled down there. They'll mark him at the 9-yard line. And we got a couple players down. Getting up slow is Jaden Coleman. He seems to be fine. Timeout, Richland. 1 minute and 14 left. So, I don't want to say this, but if
it's a jinx, don't say it.
It's not a jinx. It's just I believe that in all football games, if it's tied at the end of the game, you go to overtime. So that is a possibility. I'd like to point out Bruins need a goal line stand here. It's second down and goal, which really means second down and like 4. But if they get to the 6, they get a fresh set of downs, and the Bruins would need a goal line stand more than anything there. There's 1 minute and 14 seconds left. Up a touchdown. I mean, the blitz packages tonight have been excellent, along with run defense. Run defense, it's had some questionable moments, but for the most part, in this second half, it's been great. We just got to watch out here as they're going to try a couple new things. I'm sure a quarterback draw is coming. So here comes the Bruin defense. Wyatt Davis is off the field. Jaden Coleman takes a spot. Mirrored on the other side by Christopher Watson. Twins on either side. Shotgun formation. Quarterback Wingate is alone in the backfield with his running back. He receives the snap, drops back to pass, throws it up in the back of the end zone, and it is batted down. Almost intercepted. Kind of freaked out there. Thought it was going to be intercepted.
I was really looking for that, too.
That might be offensive pass interference. Sandley was falling to the ground, which, if it's offensive pass interference, then that's an excellent play by that wide receiver, because that would have been the end of the game. No, holding. Defense. What? It's fine. I couldn't see.
It's
so I'm going to go with it.
They can't really move them up that far.
Yeah, they move them up like half the distance to the goal, but that's going to be a first down and goal, I think. And in the NFL and college, I'm pretty sure it's a 5-yard penalty, but it's an automatic first down. High school, they're going to move I don't even know if they're going to move the ball. They haven't yet. 1 minute and 8 seconds left. So, yes, they will move the ball up to the 5-yard line, 4.5-yard line. Second down and goal. So it's only a 5-yard penalty, not even an automatic first down. Timeout on I don't know what the call is. It's not a timeout, but it's not. I have no idea what the call is.
What are we doing?
I'm going to see if I can get info from our PA announcer here at the Bill Rayfield Field. That's Joe Lee. I'm going to see if I can talk to him and see what he knows.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on. They're bringing the chain gang out on the field to measure to see if it's a first down.
Yes, so half the distance to the goal because I have no idea. Chain gang will come out. That is going to be Mr. Don Davis, Wyatt Davis's dad, as well as I can't see the other parent doing that, but they'll mark it and we'll see. Honestly, I don't think it's that big of a difference. First down. So here comes a goal line stand. Gonna need it more than ever. Fighting for their first win of the season. Bruins are up 7 with 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go in this game. They line up, shotgun formation, twins either side. I don't expect a pass here. Timeout will be called by the Bruins. So just talking it over, interesting times, Jack. Interesting times indeed. So I don't even know how to call it. I don't know because Richland, I thought would just run the ball the whole way, but they threw it right there.
And that really threw me off, too, because they were primarily a running team.
But this drive, they've been all passing, and the Bruins, honestly, I don't know that we have known how to deal with it so far, just for the sheer fact of we haven't had to deal with it for the whole game. On that big play down the field, they had, I mentioned it before the snap, we didn't move a defensive back over from the other side. So we had 2 defensive backs. So we had a weak side blitz on a weak side corner blitz come in, and we had only 2 receivers on one side covering 3 people with a deep safety trying to help. But that was the big play, and that was just because we left a man open. Maybe we can fix that here now. Shotgun formation. It's twins on either side. Wingate sends a man in motion. He receives the snap. It's a high snap. He runs left. He tries to make it into the end zone, and he does. And so that'll be a touchdown for the Richland Rangers. 62 seconds left. They're going to send in their kicker to attempt an extra point here. Hopefully, the Bruins are going to send everyone on. Bruins are going to send everyone after this. In all honesty, if you get a roughing the kicker called here, it wouldn't be that big a deal. So it's kind of safe to send everyone after it. And it looks like they're going to go for 2 here. Shotgun formation, twins on the far side, one near side. They look to throw. Andrew Sandley tries to block it, and they catch it in the end zone. It's good. 22-21. Richland is up. 62 seconds remaining. Bruins might have to get in field goal range. Bruins are going to have to get in field goal range.
I think that is the move right here. Just try and march down the field, get in the field goal range, and have Rivnak put one straight through the uprights. I am just blown away.
What a play call. What a play call. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I would not run. I would be too scared to run that. I could not.
That was bold. That was a bold play call.
So what's going to happen here is they're going to kick the ball away to us. We're expecting a pooch kick as Keegan Helms is at the 20. Same with Andrew Sandley. So we don't have anybody deep. Assuming they kick it deep, Keegan Helms, they've been kicking it his way all night. So if they kick it his way, he's going to get it and try to go as far as he can downfield. We got to get as close to the 30-yard line as we can, even past that. John Rivnak, I'm told his distance in-game is probably about 50, but that's stretching it. That's really stretching it, I think. He's hit multiple 50-yard field goals, but he's never attempted one in a game. I don't think he's ever attempted one more than 35. So they're getting ready to kick this one away. 62 seconds. Bruins down 1.
Oh, and the suspense is building.
It's a pooch kick. It'll be caught by a Bruin, Clifton Goodlow. He'll run upfield to the 35-yard line. 38 is where they'll be down. 58 seconds left. Bruins have 1 timeout. Morris's arm is going to need to carry us to victory here. Here we go. Oh,
Got to get in field goal range right here.
this is where you get real nervous in the booth. You're just kind of moving around, hoping for the best, but
I kind of doing my little nervous, rock back and forth.
that seems to be the go-to as Morris is getting ready. 25 seconds will be set on the play clock. 58 seconds left in this game. Down 1. I put the mark for where we want to be at the 28-yard line. So here we go.
I agree with that spot, that mark.
Bruin band freaking out. Same with the Richland Rangers band. Shotgun formation. Trips far side. One near side. Morris receives the snap. Fakes the handoff. He's looking for Caleb Wilson, who catches it. It's a first down. Clock will stop. Bruins got to run hurry-up offense here.
They got to run hurry up. Caleb Wilson trying to wrangle in the catch. I thought he was going to drop it. Got really excited when he corralled it in and caught it. It seemed to roll off the front of his hands, but he got it.
53 seconds left. Clock starts. 52, 51, going down. Trips near side, one far side. Morris gets the call out.
45 seconds.
He receives the snap, drops back to pass. He looks right. He's pressured, rolls out right, cuts upfield. He's going to run for it, and he will. Runs upfield, tackled down in the open field. Got to call a timeout. And the Bruins do. 33 seconds left.
That's very smart, calling that timeout right there. That's really the only thing you can do. You have to have a timeout in that situation.
So here's what we got to do. Comebacks on both sides, and then you got to run a post up the middle and hope for the best. So what you do is run a comeback on both sides as the outside wide receiver, and then the slot receivers have them run posts. And so what you could do is if nobody's open, throw it downfield, hope for the best. Clock will stop. You can run up, spike it, and then you could try a field goal. That's all you got to do. I mean,
you make it sound so easy.
I make it sound so easy. It's not going to be. Okay, so we are at the 43-yard line. The Ranger 43-yard line. We need about 15 yards. John Rivnak is getting ready. He's walking away, seeming a little hyped up for this, ready to go. And this game is going to come down to his right foot, I'm sure, unless we could pull off a stunner here and get a quick touchdown. Reed Fry, Keegan Helms, they're going to be the tandem on the far side. Caleb Wilson alone on the near side. Andrew Sandley moves over to the far side. Shotgun formation. Trips far side. One near side. 2nd down and 6. 33 seconds left. Morris drops back. Looks right. Throws right. Up the field. Keegan Helms. And it's behind him. He couldn't see it. 27 seconds left. 3rd down. You just got to get as many yards as possible. If we were to send Rivnak on the field, oh my gosh, I joked with him about it. I said to him before the game, I was like, if it's not 60, don't count. So we'll see. If it would come down to that, that'd be hilarious. But no, it'd be stressful. So here comes Morris. Keegan Helms was open, but he just unfortunately could not see the ball. Maybe the light getting in his eyes. It looked like he couldn't see it. I might be wrong. Shotgun formation. Trips far side. One near side. Receives the snap. Drops back to pass. Throws it over the middle to Sandley, who gets wrecked. And he is down, hurt on the field.
He got hit hard on that play. Ball went over his head, and the defender
that should be
decked him.
That should be a flag, in my opinion. That's defenseless receiver. He wasn't even he was going up for the ball and just got destroyed. 23 seconds left.
Writhing in pain.
23 seconds left. What do you do? It's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, I don't know what you do. You got to do something.
Okay.
You just march the ball down the field. Just try and get any kind of progress. You got to get some yardage. Don't know what I'm saying, but you got to get some yardage just so you get it in field goal range.
The game's going to come down to 7 yards, and then we got to, even then, we're far away. So, I'm going to, one moment. So, what's going to happen here is it's going to be 4th down. Does Coach Bond put the power of the game in a sophomore kicker's right foot to put a 59-yarder in the end zone, or are they going for it?
Crazier things have happened.
I mean, we attempted a 59-yarder last year. Not going to do it now. So we'll come out. Kevin May back on the field. Rolled ankle and everything. Kind of still favoring it. Shotgun formation. Twins on either side. This is the game. Morris receives the snap. Looks left. Getting pressured. Rolls left. Getting pressured again and is sacked. That's the game. 15 seconds left. And maybe flags will come out for celebration, but it won't matter. That is the game. Bruins will go down. That's rough.
Wow.
I mean, I would not call a 2-point conversion. That's just me. But to call that that's a crazy play call, and they're lucky that it came up good for them. So unless William Turner and Joe Pearson, Christopher Watson can pull some crazy magic of miracle at the Meadowlands type stuff, it appears to be the end. As they come out I formation, receives a snap, will kneel it. That's the ball game. So now we're going to go into our post-game show. It's unfortunate we dropped to 0-3 before the game against St. Andrews. But, Jack, what do you think the takeaways are from this game?
I mean, John, even though it's a devastating loss, I mean, it was so close. I mean, that really bites. But, it was the best football I've seen the Bruins play this season. I was, very pleased with what I saw. We had great execution. The things that I said needed to be cleaned up, they looked like they had gotten cleaned up. I mean, it was a hard-fought battle, and this is an unfortunate way for it to end.
It really is, and we really need all it comes down to is we have to capitalize on certain situations. And when it comes down to it, we just can't have all the mistakes that we did. It's very unfortunate, and it's not. Excuse me one moment. I apologize. I lost my train of thought. We just got to capitalize on what happens in the game. Andrew Sandley's interception, we can't have a block in the back there. That should be a touchdown immediately. The fumble that we picked up on the punt return, that's great. We got to keep up stuff like that, but we cannot lose. We cannot just lose our train of thought when it comes to winning the game. We have to forget all the good things and forget all the bad things. When it comes down to it, play like every drive is the last one of the game. And
it's like how they talk about the games. The most important game on the schedule is the next game on the schedule. It's how it should be looked at for the drives.
And as I said, I believe that after this game, the Bruins will be at peak performance. And hopefully that's the way it'll turn out against St. Andrews next week. So before we go, we'll do an offensive and defensive player of the game. Offensive, I think we can give that to Kevin May. I believe that.
I 100% agree.
I mean, Kevin May. We can mention Joe Pearson as well. I mean, he had an excellent game also. And for defensive, if we want to mention William Turner, we can. Christopher Watson did a good job. Josh Briscoe did well. Many players on defense did well. When you hold a team to 22 points, it's not something where you want to say, I held them to 22 points and they came up with a win. But, I mean, it's unfortunate, and that's what happened. So we'll just have to see as we go into next week against St. Andrews. But for now, I'm going to close this thing out. So thank you for listening. That is it for this week's live streaming webcast and live radio broadcast of St. Joseph Catholic School football. You've been watching St. Joe football live on Bruin Streaming Television and listening live on Bruin Sports Radio on WJXC LP Jackson, Mississippi Catholic Radio. Thanks to Jack Clements for joining me in the broadcast booth tonight, and to Bailey Miller for serving as our sideline reporter. Our video and technical director was Christian Davis, and our studio producer at WJXC on the St. Joe campus was Brother Bob Droll. Thanks to all. We also want to thank our streaming webcast and radio broadcast underwriters, Brown Bottling Group, M7 Coffee House, C-Spire, Mid-South Elevator, Waffle House, Zach Jordan State Farm, the St. Joe Booster Club, Mississippi Race Timing, Cannon Motors, Charlotte Smith Real Estate, Bobby Moorhead Attorney, Mosquito Joe, Farrell Scruggs Foundation, Paramount Construction, St. Dominic's, John Dorsa State Farm, and Bell Brothers, Inc., air conditioning, appliance, and heating specialists. Bruin Broadcasting Network is staffed, managed, and hosted entirely by St. Joe High School journalism students under the supervision of our advisor, Mr. Terry Casarino. Tonight's live streaming webcast and live radio broadcast is copyright 2019 by Bruin Broadcasting Network and St. Joseph Catholic School, 308 New Mansdale Road in Madison. Reproduction and or rebroadcast of this game is strictly prohibited. Join us again next week when the Bruins will be on the road for the Holy War in their Week 4 matchup against the St. Andrews Saints. Airtime for our pregame show will be around 6:30 on the Bruin Broadcasting Network. We hope you will join us. I'm John Baladi, reminding you once again that the final score from here at Bill Ray Field is the Richland Rangers 22 and your St. Joe Bruins 21. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back again next Friday. Until then, have a great week and go Bruins.